Hi everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope this finds you well. We were a little bit of a discussion of, people that are putting a lot of, comes on and is cusses and gets rude and stuff, and we're just not going to tolerate that. This is a healing center. If you have any disagreement, I don't care if you disagree with me at all, to be honest with you. Um, my expertise is in detoxification and pulling people out of hellville and putting them toward wellville, and that's all I know, because I observe all these people. And we were talking about David Wolf and all the people that were purists at one point that later found a little more balancing act. Listen, this is 303. 303, got your oranges, sweetheart. I said that on the other video, honey. I got your oranges, and was those passion flower? You're a sweetheart. Our love comes out to you. Don't mind, I shared a little with James. So thank you. We love you here. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Definitely. Pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Pretty woman. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I hope you like how Chris is doing it, because I do hate when we just can't get to you. And so I'm going to spend a couple hours with you today, and hope you don't mind. And we go on and look at these cases. And I was talking about that yesterday on a video, how important these cases are. Because when you're a practitioner, now the layperson might not find someone else's problems concernful to them, which is understandable. But in a practitioner base, and that's really what I want to do with this site, is get those of you that want to help others and become practitioners grounded with this. And you will find that you won't need much on the site except maybe some herbal degrees, just because people like degreed people. Unfortunately, we are at that level where a degree means everything and it actually means nothing. I know a lot of people with degrees, and so do you, that, ooh, what, were you on the bottom of the class or something? And this is some of the problems, we have. But let me come and go through these. But case study is really important. I think when you're really getting down to the nitty-gritty. For those of you that don't have the problems others do, it's still good information, because it's going to keep you tied into this revolving door of what we're focusing on. So yes, it's simplistic. Yes, it doesn't take a rocket scientist and years in med school to understand this. It's real easy, and the proof is there. Look at all the people getting better. And so take this however you wish, but for those of you who are working to become healers or already are healers and other naturopaths, it's all about clinicals and how you can take someone living in hellville, full of pain, full of emotions are ripped, their minds are ripped, their joy is ripped away from them. How do we get these people back? And this idea of loading them down with supplements and things, we have to get beyond that. Fellow naturopaths, throw your concepts of naturopathic medicine down the tubes, unless you're narcissistic and you want to be a medical doctor, then okay. But get into true naturopathy, because that is the highest healing system, always has been on the planet. We're just having a little twist here, and that is we've added botanicals with a twist. And that twist is we don't use them to treat diseases which don't exist. We use them to clean and strengthen the tissues of the human body. And if you look, that's really the bottom line to getting well. Always clean and strengthen yourself physically, emotionally, mentally. Clean and strengthen these bodies. And each one, like we're saying, living in the now and stop thinking. That's basically cleaning the mental body. Becoming detached and getting your desires under control. That's controlling the astral body. Getting the obstructions out of the physical body and all the acids and all the mucus and stuff, so all these energy flows can flow better. It's all just common sense stuff. This is Heather. I have done 9 or 8 of Dr. Hilda Clark's liver cleanses, and have passed several hundred stones of all sizes, and the cleanses really saved me. I was in a very bad way till I started doing them, but I just now realized there is sulfur in the Epsom salts, and I don't want to drink sulfur. That's right. And you don't need to flush your liver anymore. When you do these type of flushes, you spasm the liver, and that's enough. You've done enough. Get that interstitial fluid back into a good acid-base balance. which is eating your fruits and your berries and melons. Get your kidneys filtering, you know, and you'll stop forming. Your body will expel these stones naturally. Now, are these stones the emerald yellow stones? That's your bile cholesterol stones. Somebody was doing some liver flushes and it's got handfuls of black stones, which black, very toxic stones embedded in the wall of the liver, but in the wall of the bowel too. And I'm so mad about it because it really helped me. That's okay. Don't be mad about it, honey. You just keep detoxifying your body. Just keep moving. Don't even worry about it. Just keep on detoxifying your body, and all of this will be done. Thank God. When we do something like that, we can you know, we can go a better way. The body can always, you can always repair and rebuild. I love all that. So just don't worry about what you did. Just focus now on the future. Be in the now. That was in the past. You did what you needed to do. Now go on and become strong. Clean your liver out the right way. Get some good herbs and stuff like that. Spasming in the liver isn't always good. And let me see here. I got terrible gastritis afterwards. Ooh. But in 2 days, I was so refreshed and felt so wonderful. Yeah, keep detoxifying that liver, the gut, because remember, when that's all backed up, it's backed up through the GI tract, it's backed up in the liver, also backed up the pancreas, even though you might not be feeling symptoms yet from those things. But now I can hardly digest and let me see the bottom of my liver in a month or two. Now I can hardly digest and protein, so I'll get rid of the and, hardly digest protein, veggies, or meat anymore again, and I am starving for protein. I have low protein in my hair analysis. Even if I drink protein, my body gets gastritis. Well, you don't do protein. And if you get off of this consciousness of protein, you'll be better off. If you need more amino acids, do some green drinks. You know, get you some alfalfa juice or something like that if you feel like you need more amino acids. I don't think a person can tell that they need more amino acids. I think more people feel their nervous systems than anything else. And I might say that this might give us some indication that you could be malabsorbed. If you're backed up lymphatically in the liver, you're going to be backed up lymphatically in the gut wall, small and large bowel, wall of the stomach. If this is true gastritis, then you're having a pancreatic problem too. And that means you're not producing enough bicarbonate for yourself. So you could do, to save money, you could do a liver formula and a pancreatic formula and alternate 1 bottle of liver, 1 bottle of pancreas, 1 bottle of liver, 1 bottle of pancreas. However, highly recommend that you don't use that as a treatment-based thinking, that you actually go to the kidneys and the adrenals. You get the kidneys filtering, you get the lymph system, detoxify yourself, jump in the lake. The water's good. And really get in and start cleaning, get the kidneys filtering, and start thinking causative factors. Start thinking acids, lymph, you know, what forms stones in the body. What does acidosis create? And remember, the anionic coagulated environment. So we just have to realize that your fluids are dehydrating as we speak in acidic environments. And that's basically what we're looking at here. Not good to do protein anyway, I can tell you right now. Not good to do protein anyway, especially when you want to detoxify. After that, of course, I do put coconut in the mix here with people that are even detoxifying. So I'm pretty good in that way. Pine nuts, pignolia nuts, those are really good too. High-fat nuts, I like those. But when you do go back to nuts, just be cautionary and realize why there's a hard shell around every one of them, basically. You are currently working on my son, Parker, oh yeah, and my iris pictures, and I'm very excited and can't wait to know what you prescribe, and I am so desperate. Oh, let me see here, Heather. Did I go over your eyes? I think I went over your, did I go over your eyes here, sweetheart? If I didn't, you just, you get a hold of Chris and let me know, but I thought I did there. Please help me. Is there another way to get rid of liver stones? Yeah. Raw foods do. Detoxification does. Remember, detoxification is a base chemistry event, basically. even though you're bringing in chemistry of both acids and base. I mean, when you eat fruits and vegetables, you're eating, depending on them, how they're grown and picked, of course, but you're eating approximately 70–80% base to 20–30% acid, which will create an alkaline homeostasis. So that's all just natural, and in that little shift of pH, your stones, everything will start dissolving away, and everything is good. Or you'll just keep forming them and forming them and forming them and forming them and forming them. And it's all about an acidic environment. And so that's what you have to remove, is the acid environment. To drink the salt, I really do want to drink the salts if there is sulfur in them. God, I'm so freaking confused. I can't think straight. Well, relax, Heather. That's the thing. And this is the problem, you guys. Opinions, opinions, opinions. They're a dime a dozen. They're all over the place. All I can tell you is that the Homo sapiens species is a frugivorous species. You cannot, in any way, shape, or form, prove that the physiology and anatomy of the human body is omnivorous. You can't prove that. I proved the other. It is a frugivorous body. A National Geographic gets in line with that. People get in line with that. Now, it is true. A lot of people have migrated out of the tropics, a lot of the Homo sapiens, and got into these environments. So, can one become a frugivore? I definitely think you can. In this lifetime, probably not. For those living in tropical islands, going to be the closest probably. But also, hard to be a frugivore when the environment isn't conducive to that, too. You also have to look at the environments. So people living in northern climates probably will find the vegetable matter better for them in the winter times. But, you know, either way, just keep it simple. There is no one perfect way of doing things. And remember, we're all genetically different, depending on our family trees. Our glands are all down to a certain extent, so everyone produces different ratios of hormones and steroids. So I feel like the only way that you can find some semblance of balance in things is just consume that. And to shift outside of a fruit or vegetable diet. The problem here is we're not even vegetarians. When you look at the major difference between a herbivore, which is an animal like a horse, a cow, an elephant, and a rhinoceros, we're so much different. However, humans are tolerating vegetables to an extent. Those with some digestive issues are not. And when they go right on the fruits, they digest better, and it's not so hard on the digestion. Some of you have made that comment already to me. Well, we've seen that for years anyway. So don't get confused. Just realize it's all good. All raw is good. 80% raw is good. 70% is good. For some, 50% is good. Some people don't know what raw is. If they did 30 or 40% in their diet, they'd be better. So you can't judge. You can only hope that people will learn and try it and get excited. Our focus is detoxification. With that focus, you don't have to worry about what they're going or not going to eat afterwards. You can keep them focused. Your job's to get them healthy or yourself healthy, and afterwards make up your own mind. Knowing, because through this process you will learn so much of what really works and what doesn't work. That's why I'm saying just enter the process, and then you won't have to worry about things because you'll experience it firsthand. So if I can get you to these higher levels of dietary consumptions for humans, up into the fruit, berry, and melon range, then you see what's happening. A lot of you have already commented now that you've visited these higher levels and then tried to go back to vegetables and you couldn't hardly go back to vegetables. I experienced the same thing. Arnold Lair experienced the same thing. Those of us that have went to these higher levels experienced the same thing. But that's okay. You don't have to get all confused. There's so many websites now on raw foods and juices and everything else. It's all good. It's just difference of opinion, different juices, but it's all good. We only have so many fruits and vegetables to pick on this planet, and it doesn't matter. It's all good. You always seek to find as organic as possible, at hydroponics, ocean ponics if possible. You just try to seek those things out. If not, you wash everything anyway good. and you just do your very best. That's the problem, is finding food. So some of you have been here and seen our problems in trying to find good food, but don't get dismayed and don't get upset, and just relax. Detox is, to me, there's only one road. We all should be getting on that one road to getting into Wellville. There's a point where you have to drop off vegetable matter if you want to get deeper and get into genetic remembering and stuff. And how interesting is that? You'll see it for you healers out there. You'll see it. And you want to keep exciting your clients to do more raw, to dig into juice fasting or at least fruit fasting. Look at Babe now, 300 and I don't know. I lost count. She's almost a year. I think we need to call up the Guinness World Book of Records and have her go in that. I don't know what the longest juice fast ever is, but I'm sure she's got there. Is there such a thing as getting rid of liver stones in a different way and safer? Detox, raw foods, absolutely. We get a ton of them out of people just by that. I don't drink the bile. I don't think, yeah, you don't drink the bile. I don't think the bile's getting out from my liver. I feel it's stuck. Well, I wouldn't do any more liver flushes for a while and just let everybody get healthy. Put yourself on a juice fast. If you want to really purge that out, apple juice fast, lemon juice fast, grape fast, all that's great at pulling out stones. You probably would do yourself good if you did a 10-day Stanley Burroughs lemon juice, master cleanser. You'd probably do pretty good at helping to break up anything that could be clogging the bile duct, if there is that. But you would know that. You'd be yellow by now, by the time I'm reading this, I'm sure. So that you wouldn't have a blocked bile duct. I was ready. Do the liver. That's why I love the herbs, guys. You don't have to do these very stimulating purges. There's a point where you can overstimulate tissue, and then and I've said this before, and you might be experiencing this, sweetheart, and you see that with digestive enzymes, but you see it with liver flushes and everything else. You see it with coffee enemas. You see it anytime you use a stimulant, you're actually creating innervation. And that's what people don't realize. Stimulation only creates innervation. We like the Buddha middle path. Jesus, all the spiritual giants walk the middle path, the path of the now, and path of balance. And that was really important, that you get yourself back into balance there and use liver and pancreatic herbal formulas to work yourself away from this. Get into your fruits, berries, and melons, which digest very easy. Eat smaller meals more often. Digest your foods first in your mouth if you're having digestive problems down below. This is all alkaline, this is all base chemistry, this is all pancreatic right here. So you have amylase in both places. You start digesting your foods in your mouth because you're away from proteins, that's stomach, and just start chewing really good and start your digestion in your mouth. I eat very slow and I chew my food almost liquid. Just part of train myself. You are a wonderful person to have. Oh, thanks, sweetheart. I appreciate that. I hope I got your protocols all set up, Heather. I would give anything if I could just start digesting proteins. Well, first of all, I would wait on that side, get your health back, and then go down that road, because you're referring to beans, which are undigestible anyway, cream undigestible, milk undigestible, popcorn fairly undigestible, legumes undigestible, corn undigestible, chicken, yuck, oils, that would be liver, and these things that get me sick. Oh God. Yeah, you just head down the road to Wellville, and you're going to find the extreme benefit of using the herbs in your case like this. That's going to help with the liver and the pancreas, where the food's just going to take too long. You really need to get into some herbal power. The herbal power is strong, focused, and on point. So really that would be my recommendation, which is what I'm going to put you on anyway. I had ultrasound and they said I had sludge in my gallbladder, and my dad had problems all his life. Well, again, detox. That's the only way I can say you get rid of sludge. Detox, detox, detox. And the sludge will not go through your blood system. So, so where does that, what other system do we have? Well, I mean, you'll go out the bile duct into the bowel, but if the blood can't do it, what's our other system there? That's right, the lymph system. Being so grassy, I get so much gas that I literally cannot breathe because again, go your fruits, berries, and melons. Chew slowly, eat less, and eat more meals. And then get some herbs for the liver, pancreas. Get your GI cleaned up. Get on GI broom if you have to, honey. Start cleaning up your system. You don't know if you have sulfur in your bowels. If I've read your eyes, I just don't want to take the time to go back and look at all that here. The gas, definitely fermenting your foods, or you have a lot of sulfur in there. Let me see, I cannot move them. Okay, so you just have to do that, sweetheart. Thank you so much, Heather. You just have to go after those tissues, and you'll find the herbs are just so beautiful. We have, be like a kid in a candy store when it comes to herbs, because when you start studying, it's the most exciting thing for me as a healer on the planet. I finally realized, wow, 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 and I realized that 40 years ago. This is A.B. Anthony. Hello, Dr. Morse and Jen. It's Anthony. Thanks for the phone time. A few you got it, my friend. My question is, given my malabsorption and weight loss issues, as you've been in photos, you've seen in photos, would you be in favor of me doing a juice fast and risk losing more weight for the hope of moving more lymph, cleaning my GI tract, or is it too risky given my weight? That's a good question, and I think this is an important question. We have never found that stopping this was ever beneficial to anyone, because you have to fix the malabsorption. Well, what's malabsorption? And that's going back into understanding that around cells, including in the gut wall, small and large bowel, what do we have? A bunch of cells and two fluids. And when the lymph fluids get very thickened and impactive, this creates a lot of problems for absorption. So how do you clean that out if you're not detoxifying? That's the question. Now, perhaps the herbs alone can help you a lot with that, and you still not do the diet well. But I wouldn't worry about the weight at all. You'll find a place where you'll hang out and get that way. You go down, you get in there, you get your job done, and pretty soon you start putting on weight, and then you're out. Just like going on any mission in the military. You go in, you get it done, you get out. But I would advise you to keep going. Fix that malabsorption. I don't know how else you fix it besides herbs and the diet. If you don't use the herbs, then you only have one thing left. And that's it. I don't know of any magic out there. This is mercury toxicity, FEVEN, F-E-V-E-N. Is that FEVEN? Thank you, FEVEN. Greetings from Ottawa, Canada. I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love all your guys that are coming along and helping yourselves. I respect you all very much for that. I'm proud of each one of you. You're to be well commended, each and every one of you that are taking this on. I can't say enough. I think you're the representatives of tomorrow, today. This world needs a strong group that are healers, that they can look at and see a very ethical, strong, proud, strong group of people that know their business and love people, and the people can find succor. People are looking around for someone to give them some love. Governments should be putting their arms around their people, because that's why they have a job, and give them some love. I think we're losing that. So we need to keep putting that up in the face of people's love and beauty and happiness and your joys and stuff. I got really sick during my first year of law school. You a constitutional, well, you can't be here, you're in Canada. And changing my diet has effectively helped eliminate, good man, my symptoms due to my endometriosis, endometriosis and constant migraines. I've had to be hard for a male to have endometriosis. I've had to take medication every day just to function and throw all my prescription meds in the garbage. Good lady, since I started eating raw organic fruits and vegetables. My question today is specifically about mercury toxicity. As a child, you know what, I had the same problem. Those old dentists, when you had just a little spot, it looks like they took your whole tooth. My mouth was loaded with mercury. And I swear as I'm sitting here, I could be the last one that left me. I could feel a magnetic difference. And you notice I don't wear any jewelry. I can't stand metals anywhere near me. No offense to the metal world, but and my body's got a lot in it, but I'm just not into metals much. They're very cold, very tough, but they do serve a great purpose. They're, all these different atoms are just incredible. But your thoughts on amalgam fillings, get them out. I really feel that it's important to get mercury out. Never have we realized the seriousness of the neurotoxicity aspects of mercury poisoning. So this is the big problem. It is a neurotoxin, and it loves, as we know with aluminum, it loves to go upstairs. So this these acids just set up more inflammation and more things like that. So really get that out. I wouldn't spend $20,000-$30,000 with a holistic dentist, and forgive the holistic dentist because they would be in my field. I'd say go to them. But when you're talking about ripping all your teeth out, your implants, and your root canals and all that, having teeth is really good. And since we haven't got our health to the point we can grow a third set, so I'd recommend cleaning that out. The greens are a good buffer, like parsley and dandelion green. All your seaweeds, very protective. Kelp, dulse, all very Irish moss, very good. We have a Chem Metal detox. I put the fresh cilantro, fresh parsley in that one, and then so good detox in that way. But just clean your lymph, keep moving on the raw fruits and berries. The grapes, a lot of flavonoids, very powerful buffer for a heavy metal detox. The only true way to clean true metal toxicity out of the body, not chelation, because again we're going medically, and assuming blood is the only thing that matters. Well, those of you with all the cancers and all the pain, I don't think now you know that blood is what really matters. We have another system that's 3 times bigger. I would think that would be somewhat important since it's 3 times bigger than the blood. I mean, I don't know. I'm just a lowly naturopath farm boy. I don't have all the medical experience and knowledge that they have. But sweetheart, yeah, I'll detoxify your body there. I hope you become a good lawyer too. Stand up for honesty and integrity. That's all I can tell you, because the judicial system in this country is at an all-time low. It's unreal. This is an unreal. Hello, Drew. This is Cheryl Poe. We spoke earlier this morning. Hi, Miss Poe. Hi, sweetheart. Earlier this morning regarding issues that have been regarding inner and outer elbow. This is about inner and outer elbow pain. I have this challenge for a few months and thought it may be due to acidity and stagnant lymph. Well, absolutely. Whenever you feel pain, you can pretty much know that you're either in high acidosis or high alkalosis. Well, pretty much I think we can feel comfortable because you're going to do the same either way. I think if we keep it simple and keep it into acidosis, you're going to be more spot on to what's really going on. Again, there's a lot of theories to claim most people are in alkalosis and so to acidosis, but that doesn't really stand up to pH papers and stand up to what we see here. It's predominantly acidosis. That's all that makes common sense. That's, that sort of thing. Again, what's interesting, and we were talking about, people have asked me different things about science to this, and what I find is observation, and we've talked about this before, whenever when you're observing an event, no matter what it is, an ionization event, an oxidation event, whatever event you're watching, that you're going to have some conditioned thinking in this. And when you're a chemist and you're looking at events, you've got to understand the pH variances and what the impact that has on oxidation and ionization. You have to realize that pH factors mean a whole lot, and that how metals or elements act in solution depends on the event of depends on the pH factors. And so when you get into the human body and you realize that activity and metabolism and respiration yields acid byproducts, that then you start to begin to realize that in the fluids become, the solutions or the fluids become more acidic, your ionization event and oxidation event is going to radically change. You see this particularly in magnetics, where people are buying all the magnetic bracelets, and a lot of the MDs are getting into. I have a beautiful lady that's an MD here that she is a pain management, of course, and she makes herself beautiful magnetic jewelry. I had her on our radio show one time, interviewing her. But it's all, again, these are okay for assistance, but you want to fix the problem. And that, again, is moving those pHs back into a acid-base balance, a homeostasis, which is dominant on the base side. So this is just important. And this process we're doing here is moving the pHs in. And then you see a whole different change, the way oxidation takes place in the human body and the ionization. You see how that changes. And this is all about the movements of electrons, blah, 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 and the movement of hydrogen. And it's all about this. But there's a point where this just becomes, like I said, theories and stuff, and it's not worth wasting your time. I think the average person you're going to work on, you're going to find the intellectuals out there, and I don't mind dissertation with a good chemist in my office. But when you're out there in the world, you're not going to run across this too much. It doesn't matter anyway. I have a lot of chemists who are clients of mine. They don't care. You know, they just want their health back. And that's what this is about. So just realize that and don't worry about that too much, dear one. I think you're right on with your elbow, though. Acid, acid, acid. She's a 41-year-old female, and in the past have been diagnosed with hypothyroid and endometriosis. Well, immediately when you're into endometriosis, you know immediately your kidneys and adrenals are involved. You know immediately you're not moving lymph well. You probably don't realize it, but you're probably having ovarian cysts coming and going by this time. And this can then another thing that you see along with this for females is fibrocystic breasts. Well, this is all about a systemic problem. Remember, lymph is a systemic fluid, therefore it becomes a systemic problem when you're not filtering and moving these acids out of the body well. And that's what we've been facing, a systemic problem. This isn't a local problem, and I think a lot of times in a lot of the other modalities we get used to treating symptoms and not realizing that the systemicness of the issue. I have been vegetarian for 18 years and have been doing my best to do as much raw as possible. Good job. I've been taking some of Dr. Morse for me when I've been able to afford them. I also emailed you a photo of my eyes if Dr. Morse to look at them. Any advice? Did I get to your eyes, Cheryl? Did I get them? And this is Veronica. I think I went over all the eyes that I have here. If I didn't go over your eyes, guys, make sure you get with Chris. He takes the eyes off. If I haven't gone over your eyes yet, please get with Chris and I'll do that. It's just been I've been bogged under about getting all your eyes done, and guess what? I only have about 10 more eyes and I'm done with all of your eyes from the class. That was a lot of work. Again, I don't farm mine out. I do them all myself. So let me see, sweetheart, if November's Grace. Yeah, I love your name, Cheryl. November's Grace. If I didn't, sweetheart, go over your eyes. Let me, this is Juice Plus, and I think I did eyes. I'll see, I'll give this to Chris and see if Chris can find your eyes, and if I haven't gone over. Oh, I was talking about the oxalates for you, right? Because, according to some people, all you guys doing your green juices and stuff, you're in trouble with all the oxalates. But you can see what I mean here. I'm also phone man around here. Oh, phone man. Sometimes we see a principle in a food, and then suddenly the food becomes bad because it has that particular principle, and the FDA kind of uses that to try to slam us sometimes. And in reality, I thank God I like this female federal judge. She said, can't do that. Can't do that. I like a judge that is honest and to the point and doesn't buy into all this crap. Two things I am rather thanks for your comment, SURFERRAY 69. Sorry about that. Two things I am rather fed up hearing about on this screen. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Me too. All right. Hello, Dr. Morse. My name is Rodrigo. I love your work. Lots of great information. Lots of thank you, my friend. Very appreciative. Where are you from, man? I am graduating on nutrition in Brazil. Love Brazil. I just love Brazil. I have a friend down there, and he says the like the salad bars down there are like massive with fresh fruits and everything. It's like, oh my God. I would like to go down to Brazil. We have a lot of good Brazilian clients. Nice place. But actually there's nothing valuable being taught on the college. That's the problem. When you start getting at this level and you start working with people and you start seeing what's going on, when you're stuck in a nutrition class, it becomes a little bit ridiculous. But you just go ahead and get your degree and go through it. But don't let yourself be pulled into theories and half-truths and stuff that isn't real anymore. This, as you're learning more, you just have to get through, get your degree, okay. But I've been in classes like that where I'm just saying, oh God, you know. But you know, you just do your best. I am facing a health problem, an anal fistula. Apparently an anal gland got inflamed, and there is a little ball behind the anus and scrotum. Yeah, you want to get this out of there. So again, let's get the kidneys going. Let's get the adrenals up. We'll get the kidneys filtering. You can use, but you know, this really needs to move through the lymph system. You can insert. You can make some Hill tea. Maybe insert one real good and get your bowels cleaned out a little bit, but then just insert just a little bit, so it's not enough to give you a bowel movement, not enough to spasm or create peristalsis, but just enough. And that's why I'm making these. If I can get them, I'm trying to get suppositories, and this is exactly why I want suppositories, because not only do we have rectal fistulas, we have vaginal issues. Same things, a lot of tumors and stuff. So suppositories would be real cool. So yes, definitely with the implant, and I do very little up in there, and let that absorb into the walls. There'll be some drawing action, so that might get a little swollen a little more initially, but you're drawing and pulling at the same time. You want to move that lymph up through those kidneys. Do the GI broom if it was me, a lymphatic 1 capsules, get on my 2 kidneys, another lymphatic, stomach and bowel, GI broom, you know, really start moving all that out. But the Hill tea and a little implant up that rectum there, just a little bit, and let that hold in there, absorb in there, is just a real good healing thing, and I would do that. But move your lymph. Again, a systemic problem here. Not a good place to have it, though. And then colorectal cancers, if that's right down there, you want to handle this now. So I would get on fasting and everything else, because at those low levels like that, if you ever have to have that cut out, you might end up with a bag, and that's like, no, we don't want to do that. It feels no pain. Well, it's a tumor developing, and you just have to, that's at your lymph system here, and it's probably going to, it could, you know, tear the wall a little bit. It doesn't come out yet. I am doing hot baths with DAIKON leaves. Interesting. I'm not familiar with that herb, but is it drawing and pulling? Probably. But again, try that Hill tea insertion right up there, and you could even insert. You wouldn't have to sit. You could even insert this. I don't know where the toxicity levels of these leaves are. Probably not much, but you'd have to look that up. And come out yet. I am doing my best. I am transitioning into a raw diet. I would, transition fast. And just get these out, because you just don't, in that location, it's not just a good location to be in, you know. So just you want to get that out as soon as possible. Get on some fruit fast. See, these doing strawberries, tangerines, papaya, persimmons with sprouted flaxseed flour. I'd probably dump that right now. sprouted sunflower seeds. I'd probably say that's sprouted brown rice, quinoa, and mung beans. I'd kind of set that to the side, to tell you the truth, and I'd really pump up on the fruits. You're down in Brazil anyway. You really hit those fruits hard. A lot of mangoes, and really just start detoxifying real aggressively. Get this out of there. Get your lymph moving, and then you're good. You're good, and then the rest of your body's good too. Remember, it's a systemic problem. I do salads with radish, cabbage, tomatoes, avocados, lime juice, and this is all good stuff. Don't get me wrong, this is all good stuff. But if you want to detox more aggressively and faster, get more up on fruits, berries, and melons. What can I change? I really want to do this the natural way. I don't want to do surgery. You don't want to do surgery there, and I don't blame you. So again, do some insertion of the tea. Definitely, you're doing good with what you're doing, but you need to get up in that bowel there a little bit and let it absorb into that area. But this is a kidney filtration thing again. Want to get up and even down there. So you want to get up and get that done, because there's the hips on each side. I mean, you start seeing what's all around you that you now can start feeling. You can start feeling your hips or your knees, and it's just this whole thing going down. And then, of course, Mr. Prostate's around the neighborhood. So definitely a good idea to get this out now there, my friend, and get up there and do your thing. This is a repost for the third time. Oh, I am so sorry, Brian. I'm telling you. Again, if there is a very important question we're not getting, and I know our phones are busy, but try to get into a phone and ask Drew or Fran. She's new with us now. She's worked with us before. She worked with Gary Knoll for a while. She's a good kid. Thanks. I have a couple of major concerns. I'm 46 years old and have went from a heavy fat and dairy diet to a 95% raw diet. That's pretty good. Good job, man. Good job. Good job. Emphasis on fruit for my intake. 85. Good job. Good job. Now, massive indigestion. Well, massive indigestion. We either are looking at, like the one we talked about earlier, we're either looking at hepatic, which is liver, or pancreatic. Either those two things. So it'd be good to get up on the fruits, berries, and melons, get on raw, smaller meals more often again, chew really well, get into some herbs for the liver and the GI tract, and start cleaning that up. Cleaning that bowel up with all our, or whatever you find. But, you know, we use the GI broom, and we have stomach and bowel formulas. We have lymphatic capsules which start pulling and cleaning on the bowel wall. And that reminds me, Rodrigo, you could definitely break open a lymphatic 1 capsule and brew that along with the heal all tea, and then insert that. You could do that. You can open up any of these capsules and then brew them along with that and insert that up there. This is going to be astringent, though. It's going to pull on the wall, so you could get them swelling and feel that coming out there. But in reality, we really don't want to pull it too much through the wall. We want it to be absorbed back into the lymph and out the kidneys. You know, because if you pull it on the wall, you're going to feel it. There's going to be, it's going to, it can bulge your rectal wall there. Excruciating heartburn. Yeah, we want to get away from all this. Now, keep in mind, you could be dealing with interstitial lymphatic constipation here, and that's what we don't want. Remember, that's when your lymph is backed up in the wall of the small and large bowel, in the wall of the stomach, in the wall of the esophagus. This is what they like to call GERD, bull crap. There's 3 different types of this. Remember, we talked about the sulfur, we talked about the interstitial lymphatic constipation, the burn from within to the out, the worst one, the one for Crohn's, IBS, and all this stuff. That's the worst burn, and that's the burn they don't understand. Then you have the true hydrochloric acid burn, of course, with the low bicarbonate. And heavy constipation, wow. All right, so you want to get up on a bowel formula, at least number 3, 4, or 5, to where you have a daily movement. They also have the herbs to power up and start healing and cleaning. At the same time, I'd hit my adrenal glands. I'd probably also take the brain and nerve number 2 and really strengthen my nervous systems, because your peristalsis sounds like it's way down. Well, that's the adrenal glands. That's the autonomic nervous system. So that's something that you want to build up. And of course, if you're having this massiveness in here, that all suggests lymph, and then the suppression of the function of the liver or the pancreas. So you could take those herbs for those 2 glands. At the same time, I'd really heavily move on that lymph. See what your eyes look like. We're going to do more training and more training as we go along here. I have been eating this way for 7 weeks and have went from 250 pounds to 225 so far. I am 6 foot male, 47. I feel better on many levels. Good man. You're doing good, man. However, every morning I still wake up with heartburn, bloated stomach. Well, then I suggest, and this is one, when you do this, this is why ultimately, you know, when I talk about detoxification diets where you do fruits and berries all day and a salad at night, well, this is a case where I wouldn't even eat at night. I eat very, very little. And what I ate at night would be very soothing, something like papaya or melon or something that's really soothing. Papaya, of course, high in digestive enzyme factors, if you will. So very helpful with something like that at night. Eat very light. Don't eat for a couple hours before you go to bed, no question. Let it digest and get down first, and then through the day start cleaning and building up your detox and everything, and you'll pull yourself out of this. But there are a lot of people who are having this problem. You're not alone, and this is a big problem a lot of people suffer with. And remember, the more the acids are in there, the more damage can occur. So we want to get these out of there. And stomach ache. So you really want to clean that lymph and clean that bowel up and get that all cleaned up. No protein whatsoever. Not when you're like this. You take a case like this and give them protein, you're going to send them out the woods. Dry foods in the past, especially turkey, would get caught. Well, here's the thing. Sounds like you have a hiatal hernia too, or your sphincter is really weak. So you want to make sure your stomach's pretty clean when you go to bed. That's all I can tell you, because it doesn't sound like your sphincter is closing good enough for you, and you're getting a little bit of regurgitation. But you, like I said, eat light at night, eat your light fruits at night or melons at night, and eat them a couple hours before you go to bed. Make sure your stomach feels fairly empty. But we don't want any turkey anymore, do we? No. Caught in my esophagus. Allopath docs call this achalasia or something. In the middle of the night prior to my diet change, I would wake up choking and, poor guy, gagging on undigested food, and ate literally hours before sleep. The food I ate, well, again, this is horrifying. This is, again, you've got it, and we got a couple of cases that are similar today here, is that you want to chew more. You want to digest your foods in your mouth first then. So just super chew. Just super chew, get it to a liquid form. That's why I say eat smaller meals more often. Don't eat a couple hours before you go to bed, and eat a very light, maybe a melon meal, papaya or something like that, mangoes or something before you go to bed. Something that's easy to digest. Make sure it's out of your stomach, and at the same time you're working on your kidneys, you're working on your adrenals, you're moving your lymph, you're cleaning your bowels, you're picking up the liver, you're picking up the pancreas. Pretty soon you'll be on the other side of this and you'll be all good. Blessedly, this has not happened since my diet change. Good deal, but keep going. Don't let just the diet shift, because you're definitely taking a load off your digestive tract with the raw. You're taking a bigger load off even when you do your fruits and berries and melons. Salads, vegetables, much harder to deal with than your fruits. So you're taking a load off in a lot of ways. So you're doing really good. Let me see here. In the middle of the night with numb hands often and numb feet sometimes. I do have 3 herniated cervical discs and avoided a 60K plus surgery 2 years ago thanks to a wise chiropractor. And this is another thing. I think if you're feeling anything, always find a good chiropractor. A good chiropractor is going to know kinesiology. That's very important, I think, for a chiropractor to know kinesiology or some sort of neuromuscular connections there that they can work with, because a good chiropractor is going to understand what we understand on top of how to manipulate and work with the skeletal system. But you have to also understand muscles and what's going on with the muscles, and of course we're going to the lymph. We're going to bilateral sides and the differences between those sides, and what each side does, being stronger or weaker than the other, and the twist of the spine, blah, 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 blah. Never hurts to go to a chiropractor and have a good adjustment and have your body looked at. Love chiropractors. Good ones, but that's true with anything. We all like people good in their field, so you should always strive to be the best in your field you are. And to be the best is you don't walk with blinders. You understand that school is very limited in its ability to teach you the truth and teach you reality, because what you're taught in school is one thing. When you get out in the workforce, it's totally another. And that's why I do want to tape some live sessions here, just give you an idea how we do one, so you have kind of a feel for that. We just never had that kind of training in school. And I feel it's very important training. That way you'll feel confident and comfortable with working with people. I did have my tonsils out as a teen. Well, that's typical to have that when C-spine deterioration when you do that, because again, your cells feed into lymph nodes. Always cells feed into lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are not just sitting there with nothing to do. God didn't work that way. Everything feeds, cells feed into that. So when you remove lymph nodes, some cells don't have a lymph pathway, and either they reroute a pathway. I don't know. We haven't had enough research and enough look into these to really see that. Obviously, it is not a major lymphedema to the head like it would be, let's say, with some of the axillary lymph nodes affecting the arm. But at the same time, it's common without tonsils to see lymphedema in the head. Lymphedema in the head would yield you C-spine deterioration, glaucoma, which is the pressure from not moving the lymph, pressure in the head that a lot of people are experiencing nowadays, the MACDs, the wrinkle retinas, all of that, the dry eyes, the dry mouths, of course, the dehydration, brain lesions, brain cancers, shall I go on? TMJ, the deterioration of the teeth and the jaw bones and all of that. Just every bit of that, basal cells, squamous cells, it's all tied to that. So we're very compromised when you remove. So you're doing just the right thing. You're moving into a raw food diet. You're picking up high fruit. You're detoxifying yourself. While you're fixing this whole digestion thing, you're going to fix the whole body, the head and everything. So you're really walking down the good path there, my friend. Good deal, Brian. Austin, Texas. Austin city limits. Sincerely yours, Soul of Peace. Soul of Peace, thank you, my man. And peace be with you, my friend. Work on that. Get that digestion fixed up there. A lot of people are hurting in that. You're seeing a lot of children born with extreme digestive problems nowadays, and I mean extreme. These formulas, just can't, just bad. We need to really change up everything. I've been writing to you, and if you watch the TV, all the commercials, you're seeing a lot more fruit and berry commercials and vegetable commercials. I've been writing to you before under the alias Cool. Oh, yeah, so cool. Kim, hey. Well, Chris is doing this a different way to help, because sometimes we're not finding some of your questions, and so what we were talking about it earlier, I think he's got a pretty good thing here. Hey, cool. Now I've come to release that stomach pain that I was having was due to my atlas vertebrae being misaligned. Yeah, I heard your take on that. That's why I say a good chiropractic adjustment on the body can really make a huge difference there. But go ahead and detox your kidneys and get that cleaned up, because through life, of course, you do get your vertebrae out, but just in case you're running your kidneys and lymphs, and that's pulling you out, because you'll pull right back out in time. Notice, and it's the same thing with massage and everything else. These are therapeutic modalities. On top of a therapeutic, you must go down the road of a curative modality so you have remedy, and that way the spine will stay strong. Always good every once in a while to have that, but keeping the spine straight and strong is keeping the kidneys filtering and the lymph moving. So, good. Now I can finally start to detox. Good. Kick it in his pants, Kim. Kick it in his pants. Due to my atlas being unaligned, my body was been under a constant stress. I know how that is. I've tried your glandulars for adrenals, and they gave me severe itching, and they actually feel like they intensified my burnout. Oh, wow. Well, anything's possible, I guess. Sometimes the glandulars can be really, really strong, and it can give you the opposite effect. That's true. I've seen that. Real strong stuff. But, the idea is to use them short term, especially in chronic cases, and then deal with that. If you're not a real chronic case, then you can use your blood pressure to gauge that. I'd say anything below 100 on the systolic is a chronic case. Even 100 is pretty chronic. lead me to not being extreme acidic. My legs and back are covered in tiny wounds that won't heal, and the skin is very unelastic. So this is what I was getting at, Kim. This is the lymph system. This is what's tweaking your spine out. It's also what's causing the other stuff too in its own way. And so that you're just seeing that. The skin, remember, third kidney, but your skin is a good example of your lymph system. And if you look at your kidneys, that would also be a good example of your lymph system. So this is just saying to me and you too, Kim, that we really need to move your lymph system, get your kidneys filtering, clean that lymph. That'll take the pulling of the spine off, and this will really just end any deterioration or anything like that. And it'll also get into the digestive tract. You know, sometimes your problems are still there even though you don't feel them. That's in iridology. I'm going to see places that you don't feel yet, but that's there. A lot of people, some people used to laugh at me, one guy in particular, about, I told him he had a gallbladder problem, and he didn't really take it to heart. He thought I, probably just kind of a voodoo thing, but he liked, he stayed for a couple months on the program, felt real good, but, didn't think much about it. And then here about 5 years later, he brought his two sons in. They were 17 and 18, or 16 and 17. He wanted me to help them get their health back a little bit. I pulled his chart and I said, whoa, look at that gallbladder there. I mean, those lesions stand out. So it's a real simple thing. And I said, well, what's with the gallbladder? He said, funny you should ask. Last year they sucked it out. So I really like the eyes because they've been spot on for me for 40 years, just spot on. So I really like them. Said how to proceed. Okay, so let me see. I tried your kidney capsules and they gave me itching. Well, the capsule, this is not giving you itching. What's going on here is you're loaded with candida. So that's the problem. To get on a focused regimen, and I think you'll do well if you get on a focused regimen. Remember, we've had 40 years at putting together these regimens that will best give you the best, because you guys got to know where our heart is by now. Come on. So you know that for me, I'm always going to try to make it better and easier for you. More simple, the detox easier and better and deeper. That's always been my goal, is to make everything better for people. And so I've really tried hard at doing that. And so get on a focused regimen because you're loaded with fungus. It isn't the problem isn't with the glandular. The problem isn't with the herbs. The problem is with your body and what's happened in there. And when your lymph is backed up that much, you automatically know you're full of fungus because it's the adrenals that are highly involved in this situation. But adrenals are also involved in sugar metabolism / fermentation process. So / fungus. So take care of those adrenals, kidneys, go on a fungal kill for a while. At the same time, move lymph so you're moving beds out with it. And you're just cleaning the body out, and then you won't have that itching anymore. But it's just letting you know you're loaded with fungus and you need to deal with that. So it's nothing wrong with the formulas that's going on. It's your body, my dear. So get on this focused cleaning, Kim, and you'll be good. Get the parasite in and get you where you're out of that sort of thing. Give you some hot and cold therapy on the skin, or do some saunas, some steam saunas or something, and really start sweating. Open up. Just start opening everything up and pushing all the crap out. I mean, that's basically what we're doing. It's just opening up the body's ability through the kidneys and the bowels to clean itself and getting the body cleaned out. And I think it's easy to understand that everybody needs a house cleaning once in a while, but on top of that, we're regenerating tissue. I like that. At least the body's regenerating itself. Due respect to the body. Joan. Hey, Joan Bedford, high blood pressure. I've just been diagnosed with high blood pressure. Kidneys, Joan. Kidneys, unless it's swinging. It's swinging. Get yourself a blood pressure cup. Doesn't cost that much at the pharmacy. And watch it. If it's swinging, cerebellum. Do you feel pressure? Do you feel tight neck, stiff shoulders? If you do, possible cerebellum. So that's a very important detox. But also the kidneys. When we start seeing our blood pressure go up, get a blood work, look at your last blood work, and look at your creatine or creatinine. Look at that and see what it is. We don't want anything above 0.6. And by the time you see this, it was in the 180 over 100 range. A bit high for a few days before I agreed to take medication. I'd take medication at that. I would. But turn around, get aggressive, and you'll be off of it in a couple of weeks. It doesn't take long to get the blood pressure down. It really doesn't. Blood sugar the same way. You have your fits with the blood sugars, but because there's a lot of neurological issues and you're seeing the blood sugars up and down, up and down, up and down. Some of these things, you can't treat those things. You can't, and people are running into a lot of trouble when their medical doctors are trying to treat these hypo or Brady-Tacky type situations. You just have to be careful. Detox is always the answer in those situations because you cannot aggressively deal with that, and especially in a hyper situation, detox is the only way to deal with that. Acids and acidosis can create hyperactivity. So heavy metals and things like this can create hyperactivity in tissue. So you detoxify and clean all that out, and hyper always goes down to normal. But in time, hyper always goes to hypo. Things always go toward Hellville if you don't do anything about them. Let me see. I would like to stop this medication, but I am unsure how to do it. I was high raw before, but not at all raw. Well, that's okay, but there's something going on. You're losing your kidneys, or you're not moving at that level. It's not enough to get your lymph moving, and you're still having problems. Remember, cells are constantly producing waste. You're constantly in activity, constantly moving. Everything is constantly in flux, even when you're sleeping. So that means that there's constant waste to be dealt with. Well, when you have a system that's not effectively dealing with cellular waste in the first place, and every day your body's producing more, and if you're very active and you're doubling that, woohoo, you're really, creating a mess. So you have to take some time, relax, cut down the activity level, get yourself focused, and just wrap yourself around the produce. Wrap yourself around fruits, berries, and melons. Wrap yourself around love. Wrap yourself around God. Wrap yourself around nature, the mother. Wrap yourself around everything that makes you feel good, beautiful flowers. Wrap yourself around beauty and love and things. Find someone that gives you a good hug and kiss sometime. Just find where you're having a good in your life. Everything good. I would stop the meds when my blood pressure goes down. Make sure, though, that you're not consistent. When they set you with a blood pressure medication, a lot of medical doctors just set you on it. You might have an appointment to be rechecked after a while. It's far better when you go on this. I've seen people stuck on blood pressure medication for years without being rechecked. I really think that you need to get a blood pressure cup. It's not expensive, like I said, and check your blood pressure before you get stuck taking meds at a certain level constantly. You could have the swinging blood pressure, and you would only use that PRN, means when needed. And so you have to kind of take some responsibility on your own here, but in reality, it doesn't take long to get your blood pressure down. Probably take longer to deal with swinging blood pressure than blood pressure from the kidneys, I would think. That's what we see here. So, Joan, take off after it. Put yourself on a fruit and berry fast. I'd rather see you do a cayenne garlic combination. We have one with butcher's broom and some of the other Roto-Rooter babies. And do something like that. Gently dilate the capillaries and vascular system. That's why I like organic cayenne pepper, low heat units of about 20 to 30,000. You could do the same thing with a little bit of niacin, but I'd get the niacinamide so you don't get the flushing with that, and maybe do a little dilation of the vascular system just to keep everything good and everything. You could do the circulation lower formula. If you have pressure up here, I'd probably do the circulation upper. Then I'd go ahead and get into my kidneys, my bowels, and clean everybody up. And then your blood pressure will come down and stay down. Don't forget the adrenals. This question is ALPHA and OMEGA, omega 44. I've had my tonsils removed when I was little and not educated. What herbal formulas would you recommend? Again, thank you very much. Interesting icon or whatever. The same thing, I was just talking to this lady about that with or the one before without the tonsils. When you have lymph nodes removed, then you really have to get settled into a fairly decent diet the rest of your life, so you don't have that deterioration, you don't have the glycemic pressure, you don't have all these problems that you would normally have. So for those that are compromised with tissue removed, then you have to just settle in and have a better lifestyle and a better diet, because all you can do. You might want to get aggressive at cleaning your lymph for a while. So spend 6 months of your life and really tear it up, clean your body out really good. then you're going to have to, you'll be able to maintain good lymph drainage fairly well, especially with a good raw food diet, at least, 80% and stuff, and you'll do well. Keep in mind, you always have access to lymphatic herbs and kidney herbs, and every once in a while, move your lymph system aggressively with the help of some herbs and maybe lemons and stuff like that. And then you'll do well from that. But I would probably tear it up a little bit first. This is One Love, One Heart. Love your name. Love your name. Hello again, Robert. Are hybrid grapes just as good as seeded? I don't feel that. I feel anything that's hybrid has definitely lost some of its punch. I mean, you can tell that. You can taste that. There's no question that your good organic or natural grown or wild food is going to be superior. I mean, just look at the difference that these herbs have on a person. Those of you on them, you already have told me. I've read a lot of your comments. I love them. I've experienced them for years. My clients for years and years. I think once you go through our programs, you become an herb lover. Just such a difference, and you never fear the herbs. It's just like, for me, it's like a new discovery world. There's so many herbs, and we don't even know really a fraction. We're learning about the chemistry more with all the Brainos and stuff, but we don't always know what chemistry might or might not do. There's just so much we don't know. Well, thanks for the question there, dear one. Love you lots too. Thanks. I love your One Heart, One Love. Uneven gradient, looking good. Oh, thanks, my friend. I tell you, I've been burning the candle, guys. So I'll get myself. But thanks so much for your love and everything. I tell you, for those of you that are taking on clients and those of you that are healers, this is one heck of a level of work. It is so stressful. Our people out there burn out so quick answering the phones, you wouldn't believe it. There is just so many questions, so many people suffering, that when you're constantly talking to the suffering, your heart, we have people that have good hearts. At least we try. And so, it's tugging on them too, because they have good hearts. They don't want people to suffer. And so we all, it's a tug on us. And it's a tug on all the healers like that. The healing profession at this level has stresses beyond what people can comprehend. It's just really stressful. And with all the kids going down and all this, it's just a stress that's hard to... So we really love your comments. Keeps us pumped up. I've written recently but need more advice. I'm a male of 22 years old, 6'1". I have eczema, faintness. Oh yeah, I remember this. Candida issues, and have the EBV for too long. I've had EBV too long. I've been 100% raw for 2 months. I've done grape fast, juice fast, etc. Yesterday I fainted and I had to get an IV. Oh my God. My blood pressure is unusually very low and very barely stand up. Oh my God. My friend, listen, this is what I've been talking, you're exactly what I've been talking about here. And you guys on Facebook, listen, we're getting running a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of this with the young folk here, and a lot of you are the young folk. So, my God, I tell you, this is where, and don't be mad, but this is where glandulars come into play here. If not, you really pump up with the licorice and the adrenal formulas. I mean, and I also would probably hit my pituitary with this too. So I'm hitting pituitary. You already know you have a pituitary problem because you're 6'1". And that's not normally that tall, but at the same time, according to the species, I'm going to say that your pituitary is probably a bit at an issue here, which would affect the adrenals as well. So it's just a thing. I definitely want to clean up the bowel. Just because this transverse colon is related to the head and the pituitary, and if you do so many eyes, you realize, oh, we got to clean everybody's bowel up. At the same time, we're going to get into the pituitary, we're going to get into the adrenals, and that sort of thing. So that really, this is a case where when you have humans fainting because their blood pressures are so low, glandulars, we need help. And this is exactly a good case for that. I would get at least 160s, somewhere up in there, and probably 3 times a day. Hit those adrenals hard, try to wake them up. Of course, you're going to have the lymphatic problems on the side because remember the adrenals control the kidneys. Well, looky here, we have eczema. So we know we already have a big lymphatic problem. I'm sorry that you fainted. Now, when you feel light, I want to show you. You have your pulse line here. You have your pulse line here, and you feel your pulses in there. Use 3 fingers, so you're picking up 3 pulses. But you want to hold your fingers over that pulse. It's going to feel real faint and weak. Hold it there. Hold it right there until you feel your pulse starting to do like this, real strong, and then you'll start coming out of it. You'll wake up out of it. But always hold your pulses right here when you feel faint or weak until you feel that popping strong. And you can do that anywhere in the body, but you particularly want to do it over the pulse meridian right here on your wrists, and you'll wake up out of that. You could hit the adrenals on the bottom of the feet too, but this works real quick right here. I've had to do that. When I poisoned myself, I had to find ways to support myself before I would go down. Should I be getting more sodium? Well, that's the problem, is your adrenals control sodium and potassium. That's the problem. Remember, we had digestion, absorption, and utilization. Utilization is a factor of predominantly the adrenal glands, believe it or not. Look at all the mineral steroids the adrenal glands produces. So here again, we've got a compromised adrenal, so therefore it can compromise sodium, potassium. Well, that's your potassium in the cell, sodium out of the cell, blah, 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 blah. When we start looking at osmosis and we're looking at how we build chemistry up on one side of the cell or the other, so we have an osmotic move. Let's see, I had some celery and it made me feel better. Yeah, I'm on parasite M, lymphatic 1, nodes 1, endocrine glands, stomach and bowel, pancreas, heal all, and 2 glandulars for standard process advice on keeping me pop up that adrenal from, if it's from standard. If not, switch over to enzyme process, adrenal 160s, and really hit that hard. You know, go on up. Adrenal 160s are much better. Enzyme process is all organic, buys from, we've been doing a lot of research here in the last few months here, and so shift over to the standard enzyme process. Those are the New Zealand beef, and they're guaranteed organic and that sort of thing. Yeah, I would do that again. Do your pulse lines, get up on a stronger and a better adrenal glandular, and take more of that. I've gone from 195 pounds to 158. Yeah, I believe it. You're probably malabsorbed on top of that. See, so you see all the problems, you guys, that we're having with people? And this is stretching all you Facebook and all this. You see what we're up against. We're up against some very serious problems. People are having very serious problems, and we're the only ones that can find the remedy. We're the only ones that can help people. I mean, you've got people that are helping, don't get me wrong. But in a 2-remedy curative modality, very few practitioners out there can do that. They can help people like this with supplements to an extent, but we're talking about regeneration. We want this lad to have his adrenal back and his kidney back, because this is 22 years old. He was born this way. There's no question, and now we have to fix these things. And with all another thing here is you've got to be real careful with neurotoxins. You in particular are not going to enjoy neurotoxins. That would suppress your pulse even lower. And it's possible you've gotten into some neurotoxins and not really known it. And this neurotoxicity is even suppressing the pulse as it is. At the same time, get on that brain and nerve formula. I think that'll really help to strengthen the nervous system. And that apart from getting the adrenals up, I think that's going to do you real good there too. But just remember the pulses and stuff like that will help you there. Pop on the adrenals. Maybe get extra licorice. Definitely licorice is a popper. I mean, I would for you. If you're fainting anything like that, you want to take licorice extract on the side, maybe a half a dropper full, along with your other herbs, or get the adrenal tincture, and then keep with your, and when you run out and use up your standard process, go to enzyme process, who he was a biochemist that actually worked for Royal Lee, didn't like what Royal Lee was, how he does his work, and created enzyme process. Well, now that we find they use the New Zealand organic beef guaranteed, good. Because standard process won't. Remember, they tell us practitioners one thing, and do something else. This is so. I think standard process probably on their way out. Thank you for this information. Who are the Canadian docs that made that discovery of the nervous system? You know, when I read this earlier, I was just thumbing through these. I thought I kept this up here on my desk in front of my face. So if anybody asks me, and I'm sure I have, I'm going to keep this in the back of my mind. I don't want to take the time now, but when I find that, I'll give you the university and everything. I'll find that. There was a study they did on rats, on mice, in relationship to diabetes and the nervous system. I thought it was incredible. It was a great. I hand it to those guys needed to win a Nobel Peace Prize because. But you see, when there's not a modality that's involved in regeneration, what good is that information going to do all a pass? What good is that going to do having a neurological type 1 over say a actual beta cell or islet weakness? How is that going to change the way they deal with that? And that's the thing. For us, major changes, because we can really focus on the nervous system even more. Although we're going down that same road of detoxification, we can bring in more power to the nervous system, pick that up too. We can also focus maybe in the CNS a little bit more. So for us, it gives us an opportunity to actually do better job for people and focus on the relative side of what's a causative issue. So it's just, you know, it's a really good find. Those medical doctors deserve a Nobel Peace Prize. If Obama can get one for nothing, he could get one. I thought it was really good research. We need medical doctors to get in line with this, especially the research in some of these universities. Boy, we could do some neat things. So all you guys that are brains out there and you're tearing this apart, you're going to, in the future, really do some good work. And I see where you're just going to build on top of a foundation we have already created. And that's what I like. There's been enough greats. I just I'm kind of pulling my resource books out of my library here and taking them to my home library. And I just picked up an old book I had from a medical doctor, all about raw foods, boo-hooed the protein myth, you know, did all that. That was a good medical doctor. And that's what I was saying at the class. You saw all those old books I brought in. I brought them back so you guys get a sense of where even a lot of the medical doctors were back in the 1800s and early 1900s that were into raw foods and stuff. Wasn't just naturopaths into raw. Medical doctors were getting into raw too. And they were dispelling this idea of protein and everything else. Well, you know, as the time's going on, you see less medical doctors. Now, though, you see the Dr. Oz's of the world, and you see these people, which is good. It's just all good. It doesn't matter if anyone is 100% accurate or not. You know, you're just never going to reach that on such a level as this. But certainly, to have someone like Dr. Oz or other docs, Deepak, all these other people that are at least looking at a higher perspective of this, 3 cheers on down the road. Do they need to get deeper? Absolutely. But then, you know, there's always people that can only take a little step up, a baby step. Remember Bill Murray, baby steps? Yeah. Really, some people can only do baby steps. Well, don't get upset at these people. They're doing the best they can. And so that, as a healer, you have to be compassionate and understand. That's first thing right off, I think. Organic Superman, amen. Another question. You mentioned kelp. I am planning to take this during events. I think kelp is excellent. I think the Norwegian kelp, of course, we've always thought Norwegian was the best kelp because of the cold waters, the less toxicity of the oceans. Dosages. I would probably, if you're going to use this as a power hog, and there's a lot of nutrition in kelp, you could probably pop, if you're going to do this before an event, I probably wouldn't pop more than 2 500 milligram caps. But if you were taking them on a daily basis, I would think one, 3 times a day with meals, maybe 2, but that's a lot. Remember, these are very concentrated foods, very concentrated foods. So you wouldn't need a lot. A couple of 500 milligram capsules 3 times a day would be enough to really get you. I wouldn't probably maintain that level as I would if I was looking for a superfood. I think what you're going to love here, you're going to love that cellular rejuvenator that I've got coming. You talk about a power hog for athletes. Holy crap. Remember, the National Football League's already chewing on Velvet Antler. Well, imagine taking all the Velvet Antler power, but all the herbs like the sumas and the ginsengs and the faux teas and all the power there, the Hoshu Woos, all the power of these in one formula. I'm excited. I'm going to suck that stuff down. I'm excited to get that out and taste that and see where I'm at. That thing should be a butt kicker, and especially with power and endurance. Are you kidding me? Whoa! And I'm wondering how it's going to work in terms of a cell regenerator, in terms of remembering cells genetically. Puh. I'm generally looking for the best foods, herbs to consume combined during 2 hours plus events. I'll tell you one already, Organic Superman. If you haven't tried our superfood number 2, try the superfood number 2. Got a lot of the high rock and roll groups and got them on them, man. And I tell you, the Lettermen swear by it. It's a power hog before events. Are you kidding me? Try a bottle. Power hog yourself up with that before you go run, and I'll show you're going to love that one. But that sort of thing is what you do. You're right on spot. You're going right down that road. You're going to be one kick butt guy. I mean, it's just all you guys are going down that right road. We can argue all the fine stuff, but the road is looking pretty good there. And a lot of people around the world, I just love this. You guys are doing well to get your health back. This is Paul, P-A-U. Thank you for thank you so much for your respect here. I respect each one of you equally back. I keep hearing you making comments on the 80-10. Back again. Tell me nobody has really explained. Yeah, you explained this pretty good to me, Paul. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. I've never read his book or anything. Sounds like he's, pretty right on. Everybody has their little quirks and ideas and stuff like that, but anybody that's I'll put it this way: any practitioner, any healer, any writer that's in about anywhere from 80 to 100% raw has got my attention. Anybody that's up there is teaching all good stuff. We can all agree to disagree on these final things, but my whole focus is detox, because I know exactly where 99% of the people go in their diets afterwards. I've watched some of the most well-known people, from David Wolf, which is a friend of ours, all the way down to, look at Harvey Diamond, a good example. These people, their excitement is understandable, as mine was, and just tearing it apart. But as the years pile on, things do change in so many ways, because now, if you notice, God's always I hate to use this analogy, but you're always being tested. Your guides, your spirit guides, God, whatever you want to call whoever's helping you, which we know who all of that is, you're definitely going to be put to the test each time. And all of the test is going to be with your ego. The test is going to be with your thought processes. The test is going to be with the health of the physical and of the emotional. Those are your bodies. And it's always going to try you to keep getting detached further and further. Because if God wants to awaken itself in you, then it's going to take you down a certain road. And that road breeds detachment. Well, there's nothing any better way to get detachment than to shove it down your throat till you don't want it anymore. And then you get it away from me. So, yeah, God has a way of, getting your ability to be detached, because you always have a choice at any given moment to let the mind take you on the ride, or sit there and watch your mind going on the ride. This is Audrius, Arteris. I don't know how to pronounce that too much. Gonta. Thank you so much for your thing. Hello, Dr. Morse. My diet was very bad all my life. I didn't eat fruits and veggies for 18 years. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. There's some people that never have had fruits and vegetables. That's amazing. It's amazing. I got very serious health issues. I got bad eczema. So remember, everybody with the eczema, that's your lymph system, kidney, skin, third kidney. So remember, anything you see on your skin, you're looking inside of yourself. So you're burning inside like you see on your skin. So this is all about what's going on inside, and that's the side you're getting into with detoxification. And my knees are very bad, like old man's. All right, so what this is, again, go back to your kidneys, go back to the lymph. What breaks down knees? What breaks down hips? What breaks down livers? What breaks down thyroids? Acids. And what system predominantly deals with acids? Exactly, the lymph system. That's why it's that lipid thicker base, remember? Those lipids are anti-inflammatories. Look at castor oil packs and how we use them. And you can use any oil. Matter of fact, if someone calls you in a stat emergency, you've got olive oil in most kitchens. You've got some access to oils. You can use them as anti-inflammatories. Drive them in with a heat source. There's a lot of little things we can use, you know, to help one's symptoms there. My wrist is inflamed. See how his wrist, his knees, I mean, this is his legs. This is a systemic problem. And I've said to you that this is a systemic issue we're dealing with here. These are not local little individual diseases and all this kind of ridiculousness. This is a very serious acidosis, systemic acidosis that has the ability to break down tissue. And we don't want that because we use our tissue so we have a body to communicate at this level. If you're done communicating at this level, we don't need the body anymore. Give those atoms back and then another body will come in and use it. Let me see here. I've been almost 2 months with 3 to 4 days of cheating, but added lots of fruits. Good job, man. You're doing good. You know, for someone like this to do these things, you have to be proud of them. Because you're taking someone who didn't have fruits and vegetables for 18 years and suddenly they're starting to eat them. So, you know, these people need to be commended for their wakening up and they're turning away from the boxes and going, yeah, I need help. I'm not getting help over here. I need help. Too bad more people don't turn quicker, you know, because a lot of them are coming in here turning their cars a little on the late side. Ate nuts, corn cakes with honey, fried potatoes, and salad. But as always, when you think it's healthy, it's not healthy at all. But it's a step. Don't beat yourself up too much. It's a step. And each step, you can get deeper steps, deeper steps, deeper steps. That's the beauty of love and working with us all is that, okay, you're waking up to this, and that's okay. You're doing really good. I'm proud of you too, man. So now I'm 100% fruits, berries, and melons. Woohoo! Eating mostly grapes, oranges, apples, pears, watermelons, berries, sometimes juicing, then with parsley and lemons. Ooh, you're kicking butt now. I mean, you're to be commended, man. You're kicking butt. Everything started 2 to 3 years ago with my skin around my eyes started to get red, and later it spread on. Remember, this is a systemic problem, so you're going to see that all over your body. Makes sense, doesn't it? This fluid that you're not filtering well through your kidneys is head to toe, and now you're seeing head to toe problems. It just makes so much common sense and right down, and it's on point and truthful and factual. I used some steroid creams. Ugh. And emollients. After a year, I got very sick. I had meningitis. I got pumped up with lots of antibiotics. I bet you did. And steroid creams until I decided to heal myself naturally. Good man. I got lots of sulfur in my left eye, in the top area of my eye, and some mucus lines. I feel fatigued at the all the time. Well, that's your adrenals. You would feel fatigued all the time. Notice how your symptoms are classic with everyone else's in that way. The fatigue, the skin, you know, the knees, the hip, you know, all of these things. But this is a systemic issue. And, of course, very commonly around the world, all the passive use sulfa drugs to suppress. And so now we're waking up to all the people that got all these sulfa drugs that suppressed all their symptoms. Thank God my parents were not medical thinkers. They weren't natural thinkers either, but at least they didn't go haul you off to medical doctors all the time. They did haul you off to the dentist a lot. Ugh. Decided to heal myself. Then I got lots of salt. Okay, I just fatigued. I got pressure in the cerebellum. Oh man, well you got to move that lymph, man. Get problems in your kidneys and adrenals. That's why you're seeing that. Go after that core. My skin is dry but getting softer and clearer. Well, you're working on yourself. Which formula should I use? And planning on buying 3 or 4 formulas for you. Well, again, I would go into, wait a minute, another question is, seedless grape exist or are they cloned? Cloned. Healthy or seeded. You do the best you can. Seeded is always better. Of course they would love to take the seeds from us. I understand they probably, they could have some, they might be real naive people and really just want to make foods better for you to eat without the seeds. And I'm going to keep thinking that way. But and then my other eye is going to be half open like, yeah, right. If the statements didn't come out of the World Health Organization as such, and you didn't see the control of the seeds in Iraq like that, you would probably pass that off, but there's too much indication that there's a more conscious effort to do other things. But congratulations, my friend. Keep going. I definitely get into my kidneys. I do 2 kidney formulas. If it was me, I do a stomach and bowel, number whatever. I do lymphatic 1 caps. Kind of the same protocol we all want to go on. Because basically it doesn't matter what you got, does it? This is so simple. I hope it's not too simple for the average person. But I think that the average person is going to really enjoy simplicity. And the fact that they can get remedy from the simplicity. Bo. Hey, Bo. I miss the icon. The way Chris does this, I miss your little icons. Daggone it. Bo, dear. Hey, Jay. Thanks for putting up this email. Oh, good. I hope it works out good. Any help we need to get from you brain guys with all this, we always like that, because I'm not a computer person, and Chris is the one, but, you know, he doesn't know it all either, so all this stuff is really helpful. I think Chris is doing a bang-up job considering, you know, we're just just average people like everybody else. That's all. I have a few questions with great loss among comments. My biggest issues right now is still insomnia. You know, you try the new brain and nerve formula. You could do I don't know if you've tried, Bo, the glandulars for the pineal gland. You might try that. We've seen it work real well in some people. There's a low list of herbs that are more relaxants, kind of like your California poppy, your valerians and stuff. You can try those, but acidosis is funny like that, and it can be in the brain, all through you, and it just agitates, irritates, and everything else. Told me in the past to try, valerian, California, probably hops, and I did. After 6 months, I am still not sleeping. You try your pineal gland then? On most nights, I might get 2 hours of sleep. Ugh. Yeah, it has to be coming from upstairs then, probably, Bo, up in the head area, just maybe stagnant lymph not moving out. I still take herbs for insomnia, but I tried even melatonin, which is not helping at all. I wouldn't do the melatonin, but you might try the pineal itself. Try a pineal glandular. Do two capsules before you go to bed at night. It's worked with a lot of people. But again, there's homeopathics. Brenda got some new stuff in here for that. You might call her up, ask for Brenda, and tell her, Bo, you have insomnia, and that I said that she got some new formulas to help you. There's some homeopathics she got in that's very helpful and works well. So let's see if we can find the right one for you. And while you're detoxing and getting up in there in the head, upper circulation and brain and nerve would be 2 formulas that I would think would be important, Bo, for you to use for a while. Get up here and move lymph and move blood. But moving lymph up here would definitely have to clean up the bowels and have to clean up the kidneys and everything simultaneously, or there is no moving lymph. Now, moving lymph is a adrenal kidney issue, basically. And getting those 2 areas cleaned up, real important. I know. See, here's the problem, Bo. I can't find pineal gland without melatonin. We have that, but I tell you, it's the problem with a lot of these labs. They put stuff like that in there. I don't want melatonin. We don't want the steroid or hormone. That's why we're going to glandulars. Hello. But I still think by now glandulars should be in medical doctors' hands. We had to take them, I'll tell you this, we had to take them off the pharmacy ordering line because the glandulars are actually practitioner use only, to be honest with you. And they make you sign things and agree to things, and so maybe some companies don't care. Okay, I personally don't find the glandulars to be an issue that needs a practitioner behind them. So I've always made them more freely available to you but they do have to come through me as a practitioner, so I figure it's doing that. I'm recommending them. Used them for years, but they're practitioner based only. But with that said, we use them here, and if you need them, we use them. If you don't, we don't. It's just whatever you want in that way. At our level, it's like this young man that's passing out. I'm going to use a glandular on him. Sorry. I don't care what people's opinions are. I want that young man not to pass out when he's driving down the road or something like that. And there's very few things can help this guy. And I'm so tired and exhausted. I bet you are, sweetheart. I don't know. I don't know. Get up on your fast. That's what relaxes you the most. Get up on some of these fruits and berries and melons. Stay away from the acid ones. Get up in the upper circulate anew. Try a glandular without. We have it without melatonin, so that'll help you get the Calma Plus. Even though a standard process lab, it's got a little CalMeg, it is relaxing and it does help people to, oh, that's parathyroid, I'm sorry. We do have a pineal gland that does not have melatonin in it. So I need to find something else. I am so tired. Call Brenda, please. She's got some homeopathics in. See if they can help you there. I feel for you, honey. Just keep detoxifying deep. Get a hold of Brenda. Try some new products. When it comes to homeopathics and herbal formulas, once in a while, some doesn't work on a person. They got to find another one. I've seen that before. So just keep trying to find that magic formula for you. We have some Chinese formulas here and stuff like that. Definitely coming out from the central nervous system, in my opinion. And you could just have autonomic nerve weakness, that all your myelin sheaths are weak from the weak adrenals, blah, 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 blah. Therefore, acidosis sets up agitation, and therefore you have restlessness. And that is highly probable in your case. You also might have just like you're talking about earlier, have a chiropractor check the upper spine and everything. Make sure you're all aligned and everything. That might be helpful too. That sort of thing. Keep working in that way. Start expectorating in every way. Saunas, massage, lymph drainage to the heart, to the kidneys, all of this. And just keep moving that body out and these acids out and getting that base in there, and that'll settle things down. But that's all the advice I can give you, because there's nothing else. If you have to go to Ambien or something, but I'd rather see you get some decent rest and take a pharmaceutical for a short period of time than to stay like this, because this level of not sleeping and stress can be harmful in that way. It can keep you from moving your lymph because you're always stressed. Your kidneys are stressed, the adrenals are stressed. So let's see if we can find a way, Bo, to help you here. Thomas Shaw. That sounds like a good name. Thomas Shaw. I was wondering the relationship between exercise and adrenal function. In theory, it makes sense that if one has weak adrenals, that exercise would be a big no-no. However, it has been my experience that the more I exercise. And I was talking about this yesterday because I read this. I don't know. I just picked this up and read this, and I thought, and that's why I made that comment yesterday. It is true that exercise does move lymph to a certain degree. And it's not really filtering at that time, but you're moving lymph with the muscles and everything. And the preparation, of course, is that when you relax, then your dopamines and acetylcholines in the adrenals will turn on elimination and everybody's good. But when that's not happening like you want, and there could be a lot of other factors too, to not filtering, then after you feel a little better in exercise, you start relaxing, then your symptoms start raging back on you. And we see that. And we have some pro athletes here that this has been their complaint to me. And then when we fix that, then that doesn't exist, because as you create acids, they're also being filtered out and everybody's good, which makes proper sense. But that's why you have to understand that there must be exercise, but there must be rest. You must have the twins. Kind of like we're talking about when you stimulate, you're going to have innervation. When you're really pulling out the energy, you're going to have a time where you have to let your adrenals rebuild or re-energize the nervous system. This is all about energy loss. That's why when we're detoxifying the body and we're removing these obstructions of mucus, heavy metals, neurotoxins, and the like, we're actually removing the resistance. Therefore, in an exercised activity, and I'd say this with Doug as well, with these 80-10-10, this whole thing, this is all about resistance in the human body. And it's funny, when we remove the obstructions, our ability, and the same thing with you, Organic Superman, when we remove the obstructions, our ability to burn less energy and to do more becomes very obvious. Look at some of Arnold Ehret's conversations about activity levels and the fruitarian lifestyle that he promoted at that time. And what I've seen with my clients, an immense amount of activity or energetics that hard to turn off. There's levels you can reach in this that you don't need to eat a lot, and you've just got energy no matter what level of exercise you do. I'm telling you, you just keep working for the highest level of health and detox you can, and it's friggin' amazing. I don't know what else to say about it, especially for athletes. For anyone, it's just friggin' amazing. It's hard. It's just not something you read about. It's just something that you touch and experience. Only a few have, and it's amazing. I had to come down off of it, and I know a lot of our clients had to step back from it. It was too intense, too intense. For some of you that don't have it, I know that sounds bizarre, but you can get there. You can get there. Just keep working, keep detoxifying, keep pulling that body clean, keep strengthening, and you'll get there. Promise. I was following the relationship between, okay, let's go here. In theory, it makes sense. However, it's been my experience that more I exercise, the more energy I have, and the better mood I'm in. When I don't exercise, I often become less alive and just want to sleep all the time. Case in point, right there. Case in point. Is exercise acting as a stimulant? Your adrenals are pumping epinephrine and epinephrine, norepinephrine and epinephrine. Well, that's okay short term, but then you have elimination to consider. That's why I think that as you get this lymph fluid, you get your chemistry and your base acid balance, and you get these obstructions of the mucus and all this out of the body, the acidosis, and you get the kidneys filtering. Boy, the adrenals charging the batteries as the batteries are discharging. And the adrenal, and there is no, you don't see that, oh, now I got to charge up. No. When the adrenals are healthy, it doesn't seem like you notice that loss of charge. It's just cool stuff. So you're right on in your thinking here. And if so, do you believe it can be a good thing to exercise while maintaining a fruit diet? Oh, by all means. Yeah, by all means. I should listen to my body and sleep fast until I regain my own energy. Now you're getting it. And the more that you have to rest to get recharged, the weaker your adrenal gland is. You see this with MSs. You see this with Lou Gehrig's and Parkinson's. The adrenals are the recharging unit to the recharging batteries, the nervous system. So if the recharging unit is not getting itself in a state of wellness, it can't charge the electrical system through neurotransmitters. So if it's low in the production of neurotransmitters, it's going to be low in maintaining the I don't know what word, the health and maintenance of the myelin sheaths. And therefore you're going to lose that. Therefore you're going to discharge your magnetic energy quicker. And look at just talk to MS people and people that they can't hold charges long. We have some folks that one walk to the bathroom and back, that's it. They're down. They got to rest for hours. We've had them. And that's what you're going to see. That's how bad the adrenals are. Now, keep in mind, we live in a world of neurotoxicity. So between genetic weaknesses and neurotoxicities, bam, down goes the adrenals. All the stressors, the lack of love, all the hate, all the gossip and backbite, all this stuff just tears people down. We want to start building people up. Yeah. Keep working on your adrenals, Thomas, and you'll get that up and move your lymph, get these obstructions out, start getting the flow of energy to be smooth, and then it's just going to constantly. And another thing is the thoughts as well. Remember, in exercise and everything else, be in the now. Be in the now. Thoughts burn energy. You ever notice if you're thinking a lot and working a lot? I can get really tired sometimes, burn out when I'm overdoing it. When I'm in formula making mode, boy, I'm yanking. So my thing is that I always try to be in the now to where I don't, because I can get mentally exhausted by just tearing up the books and stuff, and then I get into the theories, and then I get into, well, let me see if I can get beyond the theory, and because that's me. I always want to say, oh, let's go beyond the theory and see what's actuality. So then you're stuck in that. So you can burn a lot of energy physically, you can burn a lot of energy emotionally, and you can burn a lot of energy mentally. So getting all of your bodies into order only makes sense. So in every spirituality is just getting healthy in all your other bodies. We can say that. By the way, love your work, man. Oh, I love you too. Love you, Thomas. Thanks, man. You're truly a much needed. Thank you so much. I appreciate your comment. We all do here, and never too much of the good stuff. Thank you, guys. We love all of you guys. I understand the ups and downs and stuff, and I still give love to everyone. Doesn't matter, and that's the way we need to do it. Just all keep moving down the road together. Blueberry purple. That's a good name. Subject: acne taking a toll on my life. Deep tissue work. Some of you guys have some real serious acne problems, cystic acne and everything else, and you just really have to dig deep. Even though you might not like this, but you got to try to expectorate out of the skin as well as out the kidneys. So again, anytime you can get into some saunas and you start expectorating, yes, your skin is not going to look better when you do that. But you're just trying to pull out that which is causing the problem, and it's always acids. With the skin, you're blocked subcutaneously. So again, getting that skin over. Skin is an organ. You can be born with weak skin. It's all about cells and the strength or weakness of that cell, if you keep it that simple and thinking of that. So getting yourself eliminating through the skin would be very, very important, as well as through the kidneys and the bowels. So you just clean up everything. You go to the kidneys, you go to the adrenals, you clean up the GI tract, you get in the GI room, you follow the protocols we're giving here, and you just really clean yourself out. And you keep digging deeper and deeper. Use the skin formula and keep cleaning deeper and deeper, because at one day it'll disappear. It'll be gone. Sometimes it's not a fast issue. It can be a lot of work. But I think you guys, for the most part, really get this and really understand that you got to roll up your sleeves. When you have someone like Babe, that's in her 300 and whatever day she is, 20 or whatever it is, I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. And people like her are even lights to me. It's like, man, you are something else. I did 6 months oranges, so that's what, 6 times 30, 180 days. She just passed me up. But that was a mono diet, but still, try that one though, babe. Try a mono diet for 6 months. If you do something like that, I highly recommend you find whatever you're going to fast on as a high quality and a good, good quality food when you do that. I think fasting long term on this food in America is not in the order of things. America just sad. Okay, Blueberry Purple. It's been an exciting and hopeful experience coming across your channel. Oh, thank you so much. Many thanks, and I love to you too, dear. You have spoken of regrowing hair. Yeah, we just got one from the YouTuber that says, look at my new hair. Did I show you that one, guys? I want to introduce you to our new counselor. He worked way up in FEMA and then wanted to get out of the insanity. And he's been working with clients on his own for a while, and he's always wanted to work here with me, so I brought him on here. So I'll introduce you to him. But he's been growing his hair, and needs to. And so what about growing in height? I don't know. I really don't know. Now, we're taking children all the way up to age 12. I have a 12-year-old Amish girl that is very short, And we started working on her pituitary gland, and now she's caught up, and now her growth is consistent with everyone else's. So she was 12. I don't know as a full-grown adult. I can tell you when it comes to women's breasts, our female reproductive formula have not only firmed them, but because it balances steroids, it has, for those that have had smaller ones, have increased the size, which has been really good. I saw the advertising on TV with same thing for males and women and stuff, but we had no, consciousness behind us to create a formula like that. But this was just a natural process we found of getting the adrenals healthier. So I think you might find that true up to a certain point. I just don't know when you're a full-grown adult just how that is. We don't have enough research. Now, I haven't seen everything in my office. I would love to, but there's always new stuff out there. That's why I hate to give up counseling with people, because of all the books I've read and studied and all the information I've learned, by far my biggest education has come from you guys. My clients through 40 years have educated me beyond belief. You couldn't pay for that. And that's why I hope you appreciate all this, because you can't pay for the amount of learning I've done through my clients, through all of my lovely clients. Now, you have spoken of regrowing hair. I'm 30 years old at 5'3". Yeah, pituitary, definitely. So I definitely start working with my pituitary. Definitely get an upper circumbrain and nerve clean, get the lymph moving, keep up on that pituitary. Now, when we see pituitary problems, we know that we have bowel problems. So you want to clean up your GI tract, get yourself cleaned up there. I have spent most of this time hiding away from the world. No, no, no. Listen, if they don't like you for what you are, who cares? I love you for the way you are. You could be 4'1". Who cares? We got to get away from judging. Don't you be hiding away now. You get out here, Blueberry Purple, and you be who you are. And you work on your health. Don't you hide away from people. My sister's only 5'1", so don't be hiding away. Okay, she's a naturopath. I have spent most of my time hiding away. The world's deeply affected my self-esteem. Nah, don't let it. Get your joy back. Get yourself back. You're as cool as anyone else, dear one. Okay. All right. There was a period where I was eating anything I wanted, from meat, dairy, gluten, soy, and junk food, and I had flawless, healthy skin for a while. Now I have to watch everything. Well, because at the time we don't know. What the food is. We feel good. The meat's giving us plenty of neurotransmitters, so it's pumping up our adrenals artificially. At the same time, it's weakening them, but we don't know it, so we feel pretty good, and then comes the wham. Wham! Oh, mean this food I thought was good isn't good anymore? Why it is. Some people break out when under stress, because that really, when you're under stress, you're actually shutting down kidney filtration of the lymph. You're shutting down your adrenals. You're not shutting them down, but you're shifting from your elimination neurotransmitters like your acetylcholines and dopamines, and then you're pumping your adrenalines. So yeah. I mean, you're actually creating more waste and less elimination under stress. So it's obvious. I am now concerned about eating dates, bananas, mangoes, tomatoes, and oranges. I've read many people experiencing acne when consuming these. They don't create acne, sweetheart. They just inspire detoxification, which inspires acne, because detox means what's in's coming out. And if it's subcutaneous, generally it's going to come out the skin before it goes through the kidneys quicker. So you just have to ride through that and get aggressive and tear it apart with the raw fruits, berries, and melons. Don't worry about that. They're not causing the skin problems. This isn't a disease. This is an impacted lymph system that you want to get opened up. So don't fear the foods. Just start tearing it up. You know, the oranges and tomatoes, little acidic, could promote things, but, you know, I mean, it doesn't create any of that, but does promote quicker detox. I've read many people experiencing acne because of these foods. You know, do these foods along with stress cause acne? It doesn't cause acne. Stagnant lymph and acidosis causes acne, if you can use that word, as apart from a disease, and showing where acids are breaking down your skin. It's a lymph that you got to worry about, not these foods. Or what about the metabolism or being deficient? Well, you'll never know that until you digest, absorb, utilize, and eliminate. When you correct those four things, then we can talk about deficiencies. And I don't think you're not going to have any. We never see any. Ever have I saw deficiencies here. Does this also cause acne? Nope. I have read that acne stems many emotions, such as not accepting yourself. I mean, we can go down that road and link all these things to the emotions, and you're not accepting yourselves. But in real time, these are acids hurting you, dear. This isn't your emotions. They affect your kidneys and adrenals, and they have an effect upon them, meaning they have the ability to slam them and shut them down more and create more acidosis. Absolutely. They're not the cause of acids, but they definitely create the inability to move acids. And you might say, though, if you pump up too much epi and norepinephrine, that might give you a little acid kick. I have read that acne. What are your thoughts on the mind-body connection in regards to skin issues? Well, I think all that's impactive. You know, it's all impactive. If you look at the mind and emotions, very impacted to the human body. Human body is a very simple organism, basically 5 senses, very minimal sensory perceptions, very limited range of movement. The human body very inert in a way compared to your other bodies. But you just seek health in all of them, and we just got through talking about how you seek health in all the other bodies. But again, if you go to each level, go to that level of consumption. So with the physical body, look at what you're eating, drinking, breathing, and what you put on your skin. You're growing spiritually, so you're going to be controlling thoughts more. You're going to be controlling. You're going to get a more desireless, more living in the now. That brings more of the God force through you, which is a healing power, of course. And all of this is just like you're doing. You're eating God through fruits and berries and melons as you are in absorbing into God. So every way, shape, and form, you guys are all moving yourself into the Godhead. My eyes are very hollow, not dark circles, but deep hollows. I took very tired and sick. What is the cause of them? Is there any way I could reverse this? Thank you for... Oh, well, sweetheart, listen, blueberry, purple, just take off after your health. I would suggest you clean up your gut really good, since the skin is a big issue here. Clean out the liver. Definitely pop up the parathyroid and get your kidneys and adrenals online so you can clean up everything. Go down that road of detoxes we've been talking about in these videos, and you'll clean up all of this stuff. Whether you can grow or not, who cares? You're perfect as the way you are. Start accepting yourself as being perfect the way you are, dear, because I'm seeing you that way. I don't care how tall you are, but just for the experiment of it, why don't you take a pituitary 3 times a day, or at least I'd say 1 in the morning and one capsule in the afternoon, and see how that might change yourself. But on the other hand, don't worry about it. Just take it and live in the moment and go after your detoxification. Okay, Dr. Morris, can a person's personality thoughts change if they go raw and alkaline? Oh, this is animator, dominator. Absolutely, my man. Absolutely, they can. Well, just go on a little fast and see what happens. It starts to settle the mind. And that's why I think all the fasting people, of course, were meditators in the beginning. You saw meditation as a fasting experience because there wasn't all this activity and grinding of chemistry in the body. And in digestion, there was a simplicity of peace and tranquility. And anybody that's ever gone on a fast knows immediately how it affects the mind and emotions and how it settles you down and makes you more peaceful. And you'll see that with the fruit diet as well, although there'll be a power coming through you. It's not an agitated power. It's a power. Can't describe that one. It's not like a stimulated power at all. It's like the power of the universe. That kind of power. So it's a really far better thing. So it's well worth to dig in and really tear this detox apart. Really, one should always do that for 6 months of their lives, minimally. 2 or 3 years would be better, because it just is not going to be a fast thing to clean out the lymph system. This is a gigantic system, and it's just not a snap your finger and it's done. So and don't worry about it. Live in the moment. Enjoy. Get your joy back. Be happy. Whatever you find and do in your life that makes you happy. Don't hurt others. Respect everyone's space. Keep your own space. But yeah, it changes the way you see things. It brings your joy back. Gives your self-esteem back. You know, this lady was talking about losing her self-esteem, but she also could have a little parathyroid gland, which is the ego, and it could, be impacted with the pituitary, giving her a low self-esteem. She could have a weak parathyroid gland on top of this, since the pituitary controls those two, along with the adrenals. You could suspect them as well, dear one. This is for the purple lady there. But, yeah, definitely. Moods, thoughts, everything. Give me a highly acidic person, and I'll give you a person that's restless, that can't rest, like Bo. All these things like this. Thoughts come in, all kinds of negative things. Gosh, and I still haven't caught up here. Look at this. There's so much I'm not going to get to, guy. I'm really kind of disheartened that I can't help you more. Oh, wait a minute. I just found an eye here. Jesus. I'm trying, so don't get mad at me. This is Lily. Lily. All right, let me show you these eyes. This is, hi Chris, can you give these photos to Dr. Morris so he can review them with you tubers? Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much, Lily, for sharing your eyes. Tell him he can share anything and everything. All right, here we go. Even my screen name, which is Lily May Live. Go Lily May Live, that's your stage name. I am a self-taught naturopath. Love you, dear. And I have eaten very clean for the past 12 years. I'm 100% raw and eating 95% fruit at this time. Over the past 10 years, I have been usually about 80% raw or more. This sounds like a butt-kicking woman. Let me see. As a baby, up until about a year, I had crystal clear blue eyes. Ooh. We had a Spanish maid living with us, and my mom says she turned my eyes brown. My mom started showing symptoms of schizophrenia around the time I was conceived. And by the time I was born, she was, oh, that's sad. I think my brown eyes have something to do with a neural weakness that was passed down from my son. My body is very strong. I rarely get ill, but if I do not eat raw, I have difficulty focusing and have debilitating mental fatigue. Isn't that amazing? So that shows you how weak your nervous system is and how that raw, high magnetic energy is sustaining your neural system. Well, that goes to the adrenals. That goes, to your central nervous system. Use the brain and nerve to upper circulation, then detox the body. Dr. Morris has brought me away from all the deficiency theories and helped get me back to 100% raw, mostly fruit diet. He has also helped me open my mind. Oh, thanks so much. Thank you there, Lily. All right, let's look at Lily's eyes, guys. Now, here's the thing. Let me see which eye this one is. Okay, so I'm going to say this is your right eye. Now, the problem with these pictures, I can see your eye real close and really good, but it's the color. I'm going to take a stab at looking at this color with what you said and what I see in this. This is not a real good color photo for me to tell you brown or blue, but I can tell you blue. No question. What gives the brown look to your eye here? Let me get this kind of divided up here a minute. Sorry for taking up your guys' time like this, but let's just go real quick here and hang in there. But one thing that's obvious is lots and lots of lymph. Now, is this lymph full of sulfur? This is where I don't know. You're going to have to help me with your eye color here. I'm going to assume this is the right eye, the way it looks here. And this is the left eye, so we're going to assume that. This is her right eye. Right here we have a kidney and adrenal glands. Right here we have hip. But see all this thick, it looks like orange. This all looks like orange. See how thick the sinuses and head is up here? Very thick lymphatically here. Good strong genes here, but very thick. This is a malabsorption ring around the pupil. It's a brown ring here. Your bowel design is pretty good here. Maybe a little ballooning here in a couple of places, but you don't have any real prolapses here. Really nice that way. This is mid-back. A lot of congestion in the bladder here, in the lower back, maybe even in the vaginal wall right here. It's a female. Thick lymph in the bronchial trunk, lungs. This tends to be the skin ring around here. The sclera here is showing inflammation here in the back here, maybe more toward the bladder area, also up in the throat area here. Your left eye, Lily. A little bit of kidney here. Now, you got a good, strong constitution. Got nice shaped bowels here, so the parathyroid. This is more tonsil here. Minor thyroid here. Left ear here. A little swelling of the bowel here. This is the upper portion of the descending bowel. Bronchial trunk, need just to clean that up. Need to get your skin back in a state of health. What I see mostly, dear one, is thick lymph. All this white stuff here, all this thick orange and yellowish stuff, that's all lymph. Lymph nodes, all these little dots here, all these, if you can see them, guys, all these little bright little dots, these are lymph nodes. Skin ring, malabsorption, all this thickness up here, this is sinus. You look like you have a lot more lymph toxicity in your right side than your left side. I assume this is the right eye. Now notice the lymph here. You can start to see a lot of her tissue here. But here, much thicker. Up in here, just really thick up in the brain area. So pretty good constitution. You'll have a lot of weaknesses, dear, but you certainly have a lot of lymph. You have a lot of lymph going on. You got to get in there and clean that, but you got good genes. You got a good eye to work with. The blue is there. As far as I can tell, a brown eye is pretty brown, and this is just not a brown eye that I see here. But the color of this isn't good enough for me to tell. This is a brown eye. And you can see with this that that's not really a brown eye. So it's a blue eye with probably a lot of orange or brown in it, and she needs to detoxify and get that system up there. Sorry, Lily, it's probably been sitting there for a little while. I'll go through here and see if I have any more. I apologize. You get all that trouble getting them to me. I'm going to get a handle of this one of these days, guys, so hang with me. Hang with me. This is Kim. I have to add to my question. Let me see. Oh, here's the question down here first. Now, let me see. I've been writing to you before under the alias Cool. Oh, yeah. Now I've come to realize that stomach pain that I was... Oh, yeah, that was the vertebrae. Yep. She wants to add to her question. My body doesn't seem to be able to digest even watermelon. Oh, I had some and my body started to itch. Well, this itching that you're bringing up here, Kim, definitely you're loaded with candida. I mean, I'm not a candida freak where I blame every symptom in the world on candida. That's what's out there. I'm not that way. But what you're telling me, you're loaded with candida. You got to really clean your body out. Highly suggestive of adrenals and kidneys and then the lymph system to match that, dear one. So honk down on it. This question is from LEAHCIMRAC. Alcohol. It's something I'm trying to give up, as well as smoking. I just can't wait to go out on a Friday and Saturday night after a hard week working. You know what? I can't either. I don't drink, but I've had a margarita once in a while. I've had some strong margaritas once in a while, but my body hates alcohol. I have to be so ratted out that I just want to let my hair hang down and I'll drink a margarita, but that would be rare. Very rare. My body does not deal with alcohol well. I know alcohol is bad for me, but but can it have a place in my future? Sure it can. I mean, don't take this wrong, guys, but just the physical world. This is a world of nothing but atoms whirling around each other and making form. And those forms are constantly at change. And so it's the consciousness that's the living presence, not the bodies. It's the consciousness is the living presence. And the consciousness is you, not your bodies. So, you know, there is a point where you absolutely can have fun. My thinking of fun, of course, is definitely fresh fruit juices and fruits and berries and melons. I have never, ever not liked that and never had fun with that. With that said, I could get ratted out. There's days I would love to smoke a big fat doobie, but, you know, I'm a natural thinker. I don't need that. My consciousness, I absorb into God. And when I start thinking that way, I realize that, oops, I'm not living in the now. I let people or I let my business eat me up. And so, yeah, but we're all human having a spiritual, I mean, we're having a human experience and we're all consciousness. So, yeah, sometimes we forget that and we're actually think we're human having a spiritual experience. So don't beat yourself up. There isn't this perfection that's out there that you have to reach in this world, obviously. So I don't think that you have to beat yourself up. I think everything in moderation, and I think that balance is key. But that said, I think when you're suffering, you tear it up, and your balance is fruits, berries, and melons and herbs. That's your balance. And you head down that road until you have some experiences in all these different worlds, until your body's so healthy and you feel so good. You will, I guarantee, balance out. You find that which suits you the best, whatever diet it is, but always maintain a high raw food diet. I think that breakfast, without a doubt, if you can get in this habit as I have, should always be fruit. And I think you should always eat light for supper when you come out of detox. Always eat light at night. If you want to eat your salads at lunch, okay, but in detox, try to keep that high level of fruits, berries, and melons going, and you'll be happier. But a sense of balance is always good. Let me see here. But I can if I have a place in my future. I really don't want to stop going to bars and clubs, but I also can't see how I can go out and not drink and smoke. I used to go all the time and not smoke. I mean, I'm not really a bar person or a club person. I'll be honest with you. I'm an outdoors kind of guy. I'm much more into the woods and stuff. But I can't be around cigarette smoke night in Florida. You can't smoke in bars or anything. Thank God. But I can't go to Las Vegas and go in the bars and stuff. There's no way. Instant headache if I smell cigarette smoke. What are your opinions, suggestions? Well, some of you might not like that from me, but I say that moderation for everything. If you want a little wine, make sure it's organic without the sulfites and stuff like that. I think man needs to walk with balance. But if you're suffering and you're hurting, you tear it up. You get into this deeper level of detox and get rid of your symptoms and stuff so you can have a body here to have some fun. Then if you have a drink once in a while, you smoke a joint once in a while, who cares? I mean, I'm sorry for people out there, but I believe in plants. And I think that for those that do those things, okay, in moderation, everything in moderation and balance. But always eat high-level raw. And you know the thing about when you start becoming more of the one, that is a buzz. There's nothing, alcohol, weed, I don't care whatever you're doing, nothing that can touch the buzz of God. That's all I got to tell you. Nothing can touch that buzz. All right. Now, this is quite long. This is a long thing, so forgive me. This person was born in East Germany and developed neural dermatitis. Well, it just simply means, man, you're just loaded lymphatically. Subcutaneously, which is under this dermis epidermis here, right? Subcutaneous. That's also known as the lymph node bed in iridology too. So you notice when your epidermis, or when your subcutaneous tissues of the body is getting blocked up, so's your lymph nodes. Let me see. I must inform you that in the GDR, the only tooth filling given was, it was amalgam, and I'm sure that I have already absorbed enough mercury through my mother's blood. Yeah. Well, you just have to, that's the beauty of detox, and that's the beauty of God, is you have a way out as you have a way in. Don't ever think you're living in a cave and there's no way out, because that's just not true. So try to get your joy and your happiness, start falling in love with yourself in terms of being an expression of God, not the ego, the expression of God. Look, I'm okay, like the lady that's 5'3". You're okay, sweetheart. You're taller than my sister. You're okay. It's not about height, it's about you and your loving personality and who you are. I enjoy the fact that there's all heights of people and there's all sizes of people. I don't enjoy everyone that looks the same and dresses the same. I never did agree with that in Catholicism. I never did agree that everybody should dress the same. That reminds me of the old days of you know, everybody dressing and looking the same. I think if you look at God, you will see everything as an individual, and that individuality is the key. When you get into Buddhism and into this, you get into dissertations about that, but individuality is always where it's at, because that alone does exist. The factor of multitudes of individuality is what makes the buzz for God, not the same ridiculous thing over and over again. That's why I love each and every one. I love your differences. The differences are feeding. I think every country should be proud of their uniqueness. Instead of killing their people, be proud of their uniqueness. When we travel to your country, we don't want to eat at McDonald's. I researched for right doctor to start my detox and was lucky to find a very smart lady who introduced me to the concept of nurturing the body to enable it to heal itself, and colon hydrotherapy, which was new to me back then. Her test showed that I had major intolerances against milk, eggs, sugar, yeast, meat, etc., as we all do, of course, absolutely. It took me 2 years to totally eliminate all these foods. You did a pretty good job there, man. But the more I read about it and the more I taught myself to prepare vegan meals, saw the results, the more I understood. There's nothing like diving in and then go, wow, this feels pretty, the water's good, come on in. Yeah, some people dive right in and others just tuck the toe in just a little bit. Exactly 1 year ago, I lived in New York City for 4 months and was introduced to the concept of raw food. Incredibly excited about the idea of healthy desserts. I had a sweet tooth. The meals that I love people like this. This is Suzanne. I love people that are real. Suzanne, you're really real. Appreciate the realness. I'm swallowing your book. Thank you, honey. And I now do have one question. I am high fruits, melons, and berries at the moment. Eating lots of herbs and doing enemas every other day, therefore my skin shows heavy detox symptoms. Yeah, but I stick to it. Yeah, you know, if you can get focus more on kidneys and trying to get those kidneys filtering, it'll give your skin a reprieve. Once your kidneys start kicking in better, your skin will get a good reprieve from that, and it won't be. It's like we're talking about when we're pulling tumors. I can't get too graphic probably on this channel, but there's a lot to learn, and it would be nice to be able to show you some serious tumors and some serious people that we have. and what we're up against. And those are people discharged from the AMA that can no longer help them. So now we have to clean up the mess. So it's, you know, it's a bit. It's really a bit. I feel sorry for some of these people. Let's see, eating lots of herbs, but I stick to it to get everything out as quick as possible. I like you, Suzanne. You sound like my kind of woman. The last time I took an intolerance test, I showed that I was sensitive to certain fruit. I eat them nonetheless. That's what I say. Buzz through it. Even if it causes a lymph expression, who cares? That's what you want. You want a lymph to express itself. So if that food kicks up your lymph, good. Now, the only thing I say is just watch out for anaphylactic shocks. I don't think you're going to see them with the fruits. Chew really well, but I don't know if I should just skip those for a while. Is there such a thing as intolerances? Well, I think there's definitely times where certain fruits will be good for you and certain times where your body just doesn't want them. I think if you use your intuitiveness, you will know that. You just, nah, I don't want that anymore. I want this. And just move with the intuition. That's your spirituality anyway. And just listen, say, oh, I want those today. No, I don't want those. You know, and follow that course, knowing what we're choosing from, and then which one does your body want. Thank you, Dr. Morse, again. Well, thank you, honey. I really appreciate that. Love from Germany and love from the States. Suzanne, sounds like a great woman right there, guys. YouTube questions. Let's see. First of all, thank you, and thank you, too. Who am I talking to? Rose Garden. I love roses. I don't really focus on raising roses because, and orchids, I love orchids, but right now, I just got too many. I got a lot of bromeliads. I got a lot of things to take care of. It's just I just don't have the time. Maybe on retirement, I'm going to go the Dr. Jensen way. I know it. My family and I have been soaking up the information in your videos. Thank you. I think, boy, good. For myself, I recently purchased your kidney one, adrenals one, lymphatic one, endocrine glands, female reproductive. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. For my fibromyalgia, Raynaud's, deep leg thrombosis, menopause symptoms, acid reflux, osteoarthritis. I realize that these symptoms should improve systemically once all these herbs kick in, but question number 1. My body stopped producing hormones at the age of 40. Well, I couldn't quit producing them all, and I started having menopause symptoms, okay? So, that is suggestive of pituitary, all right? When I think pituitary, I think transverse bowel. Now, remember, we've had the years with the iris work, so we get more connected to relationships of tissues. So definitely clean up the GI tract. Stomach and bowel number whatever, 1 or 2, generally speaking, lymphatic 1 capsules, 2, 3 times a day. Start pulling on that bowel wall. GI broom if you want. Kidneys number 1. I'd also jump to a kidney number 2. Get my adrenals up. Adrenals are fine. You got adrenals and endocrine glands. That's plenty right there. Now the female reproductive does have chaste tree vitex, which will actually help get the pituitary turned on. So you are dealing with that pretty good. I like your choice there with the female reproductive. Don't be surprised if you start your period again. That's very common to see this all the time. And that's because you're fixing why you lost it. You're fixing a problem here. I have been on estradiol and progesterone for... See, now what that's going to do, even though you might be low in that, that would be a wake-up call to weak adrenals. So you're not worried about, well, at your age, you probably still are worried about estrogen, progesterone, ovarian-wise, because you still, you don't want to conceive, I don't think, at that age, but you still have your monthly cycles. You're losing that because I think the pituitary, very, very young to actually be through that cycle. And we see this a lot where the pituitary gets weaker and weaker, and then you quit having menopause. FSH gets suppressed, and blah, 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 blah. Should I stay on progesterone? I don't believe in using steroids and hormones because, again, the message and the effect is always suppression of your adrenals, not the increasing of their function. So I do not recommend these at all. I'd recommend a glandular. If you were going to hit them, you'd be better off getting a strong glandular and popping up your adrenals quicker that way. Is the female reproductive too hot for my acidic body? No, that is not a hot formula. That is a progesterone formula. Black cohosh is more of an estrogen formula. If you were, say, a woman that had a hysterectomy, you had vaginal dryness, then you would take black cohosh. It would inspire estrogen from the adrenals and everything would be good. But the female reproductive formula is a glandular strengthener. If anything, it's more on the progesterone side, which is safer. Question number 2. I have been on steroids 3 times in recent years for poison ivy. Why would you be on steroids for poison ivy? I've had a lot of poison oak. I've had poison oak a lot in my life, and poison ivy. Why do you take steroids for? And for pneumonia, twice. Well, here's the thing. Every time you suppress pneumonia, you're going to have it again and again and again. So when you start detoxifying, if you go into pneumonia-like symptoms, don't freak out, because you've got to go through it. You've got to get this mucus out of your lungs, and you keep stopping it every time. So sometime you're going to have to let yourself go through it. You'll be fine. You got us here. You might want to start on the lungs number 2 here in about a month or something, and start pulling this mucus out of your lungs in advance of having that symptom. Make it go a lot easier. But don't suppress, and don't be surprised if your skin shows some poison oak, because you haven't really cleaned the acids out of your skin yet. You're just seeing that interaction between acid and acid. Get your skin cleaned up, and you'll be able to handle poison oak better. I gained a lot of weight and cannot budge it because you're wrecking your adrenals. You're wrecking your adrenals with the steroids. So you can't. To me, this is why medical doctors need to can the steroids only in ER, in emergency cases, and start getting into the glandulars, because they're safer, they're better, and you're not going to keep wrecking all these glands with people. So you got to get up your adrenal glands a lot better for sure. I try to exercise moderately several times a week and eat primarily 80% raw vegan. As of February 1st, lost 26 pounds, but have come to a standstill. Well, dig deeper. Get rid of the vegetables, get into the fruit, berries, and melons, get up on some herbs focus. Now, you're on pretty good, so let me look at this for myself. You're on kidney 1. I would do kidney 1 and kidney 2. Adrenals, okay. Lymphatic 1, capsules, and then I do, and then as you move along here, I would do lymphatic. You haven't dewormed yourself yet. Looks like here I deworm myself. This is why we recommend the first kit. Parasite M, Parasite G. Everybody deworm yourself. Deworm yourself. Spend a couple of weeks, a couple of months, whatever, but deworm yourself. And then stay on Parasite M for a couple of months if you've got Candida, which everyone's got it. Really go after that. So I would advise you to do that as well. You're not on a stomach and bowel. I'd recommend a stomach and bowel if you can afford it. Start cleaning up that gut, because that's going to reach up to the pituitary here. And I would definitely clean up my bowel. Even try the GI broom if I was you, and really go down that line there. Fibromyalgia. I'm going to go down through these. It's Facebook, right? Fibromyalgia. What is that? Acids where? Muscles, right? Exactly. So what's the problem? Lymph, right? Raynaud's disease, all right? So how do you deal with that? Here we go, back to the kidneys and adrenals again. Deep leg thrombosis. Oh, you've got to really clean up your lymph, because it's impacting your blood. I do lower circulation too, dear one, with this. I would do lower circulation. High flavonoid formula, definitely do lower circulation. With the menopause, again, do the pituitary female should be enough. We'll see how that works out. Acid reflux, make sure it's not interstitial lymphatic constipation, which I would suspect with the suppression of the pituitary and the menses and acid reflux. We're going to now think this isn't the true GERD where you have hydrochloric acid not being properly neutralized by bicarbonate. This is more maybe an acid reflux that's systemic, which would be interstitial lymphatic constipation up the GI tract here, which is burning her this way, and of course then it's going to take up at the pituitary. It just makes sense. Osteoarthritis, where you're just your lymph system pulling calcium out of you. That's common. That's going to happen. So all this is all going back to what? Kidneys and adrenals and the lymph system again. Oh my God, too simple. Number 3, question 3. I'm detoxing now and have broken out in a blister-like itchy burning rash on my face. Oh, so we know probably is your pituitary, dear. You're loaded here. You're loaded in your face with the lymph. You're loaded all over. So you're systemically backed up lymphatically, which you would be. Kidney and adrenals. Reynard. So you get back on that. All this will come out. All this stuff will come out of you. All this stuff will come out of you, dear. Can you suggest anything that I might put on it for relief? All right, we do have some creams. We do have some comfrey cream in there, some Heal All cream, not mine. We're trying to get mine redone. But we do have some nice comfrey cream in there, really healing to that. Absolutely use something like that. A comfrey cream, anything golden seal, comfrey, horsetail, you know, something like that. Calendula, chickweed, stuff like that. Comfrey being one of my favorite healers of skin, and gold, of course, golden seal, of course. I use bentonite clay to draw the poisons. Yeah, but I just put a nice healing cream that has some drawing power. If you get a hold of my, we're trying to get my cream put up. This is for her mother. Question 4, at 72 years old, my mother broke 6 vertebrae in her back last year from a fall, oh my God, and discovered that her osteoporosis was so advanced. And doc said her bones were like honeycomb. She was given something like Fosamax. Ooh, bad drug, bad drug. Boniva too, you notice that one? And lots of drugs that she finally withdrew successfully on. After being addicted, she now takes vitamin D and calcium and on Armour Thyroid. Well, the fact that she's on Armour Thyroid would lead you to what suspicion? You're right, parathyroid. Now, why would we be thinking of parathyroid and thyroid? Calcitonin, thyroid. Parathormone, parathyroid. Both are essential to calcium utilization, and particularly parathyroid. So we have a case here where the lymph system is pulling acids out of the skeletal and probably connective tissue. So this lady needs to get her kidneys at 72, go after her kidneys and adrenals, go after her lymph system, clean her bowels, and go pop up her parathyroid and thyroid. Even though Armour's natural T4, let me tell you, I'd shift to a glandular. You're not going to lose your thyroid, and you're going to pick up the calcitonin, which you're not now with the Armour, and you're just going to make everything better. You can use the Bones formula. I probably would at this level use the Bones formula. I've got Kelp in there. I've got the comfreys and the horsetails, this high silica stuff. So absolutely, I would do that. But I am most definitely would get my thyroid and parathyroid up to functioning here and clean out her lymph system, because you have to think, why is she losing calcium out of bone? Well, where is that going to take you? Acids. And what system deals with acids? The lymph. So it's going to kind of come back. She's your mom, so there's the genetic past there in terms of their genetics there. So her bowels are probably a mess. This is the husband. This is a long one. Sorry about that, guys. For my husband, question number 5. This is about the last one I can do. Question number 5. My husband has severe allergies. What system does allergies play a role? What system causes the person to be allergic to things? Blood? You guys are really good. You're right on. The lymph. There's only 2 major fluids of the human body, and everything else is cells. And then on top of that, everything is chemistry. And chemistry has how many sides to it? 2. What's the corrosive side of chemistry? Acids. What's the healing side of chemistry? Base or alkaline. Absolutely. Chronic chest congestion. Get that out of there. Lungs number 2. And a very weak libido. Well, again, if this husband has a lot of allergies, this husband could have big time what? Kidney and adrenals, right? So he would probably be low in what? Yep, testosterone. Matter of fact, he could even have a little prostatitis, have his PSA checked, of course. You might want to do that. He is, even at 39, he could have high PSAs. Remember, I've seen cancer in PSAs of 2. in a 40-year-old male. So, and he's 39. So anything above 1 PSA, unacceptable. But would be in line with him because he has allergies, meaning his lymph system is backed up. It's going to take us right to the kidneys and adrenals. When we're at the adrenals, we're at the testosterone, estrogen, aldosterones, right? We're at all the goodies. But then you got the prostate, you got the testicles. They all get backed up lymphatically. They all get inflamed. They all cease to perform. Absolutely. He has noticed some shrinkage down there. Cute. Think that shrinking down there with a little puppy. And according to his lab work, his testosterone numbers went from 500 down to 200. Told ya. But thing is, yeah, he doesn't want to shrink the little Winky. But again, this is all about acids and what acids do to us. So he's got real-time kidney and adrenals, which is backing up his sewer system, giving him the allergies, also breaking down his libido. And of course, this congestion interstitially is getting in the lungs as well. Need to get on the lungs too, need to get the kidney. I ordered the kidney, endocrine, lymph, and male reproductive. I wouldn't do the male reproductive right now, dear one. Hold off on the male reproductive. Make sure his PSAs are low first. Male reproductive is hot. It's aggressive, but we don't want to use that, and the warning's on the bottom. We don't want to use that if he has inflammation. We want to use the prostate formula. And then we can use the male reproductive formula. It's like a woman, when she's hot, she has ovarian cysts, she has endometriosis or uterine fibroids. You're not going to give her more estrogen. You wouldn't want to do that. You don't want to give hot in a hot situation. So when acids are heat producing, you don't want to give something that is more acidic. You know, only oncology does something that ridiculous and stupid. But you're getting there. You're good. You're picking good. But I want you to think more bowels, too. I want you to think more of that as well. I do apologize for so many questions. Thank you, honey. I just have not found them, I guess. But that's okay. I think in advance, you're welcome, welcome, welcome. Rose. Well, Rose by any other color. Thank you, Rose. Appreciate it. I hope that's helpful to you. Sorry I had to go kind of fast, but I've got so much to go over, and my time is gone. We've already been a couple of hours here, and I better get this off. Owen Fox, you good man. Nice to see you, young man. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Is it a good detox protocol to try catch a cold and flu? Now, this is a good question Owen brings up here, guys. Is it good detox protocol to try to catch a cold flu off other sick people? I tell people all the time to go hug somebody that's sick. But the problem is when you're on raw foods and herbs, you can't always, you know, your body's cleaning itself so good, it's hard for your body to trip. It's not about catching, it's about tripping the body to detoxify itself. It takes a lot of bacterial action, or even high viral loads don't always do it. Cold weather will do it, stress can do it, raw foods can do it, of course, anything alkaline can do it. Things like that. But yeah, if you can catch or trip, oh yeah, because in each healing crisis you're going to get out so much more than what months of detox could. So yeah, anytime you want to trip your body into a good cold or flu-like symptom, you're right on, Owen Fox. Honesty, not joking. I'm true. No, I tell people that all the time, Owen. Go out and hug somebody that's sick because you need to break loose. The problem is acids create coagulation and dehydration, which ends up with thickened fluids. Hard to just expectorate. Remember, we had a guy the other day end up in the hospital because he broke up a big wad of mucus out of him and it got trapped in his throat. It's just all the little problems we have in detoxification. I got, not joking, but I just caught a flu-like thing and got lots of mucus up. See what I'm saying? You're right on there, Owen. That's just what you do. You're going to expectorate a lot more when you can go through these healing crises. Trust me. Never want to stop a healing crisis unless it's too long and too hard on you. Then back off and stop them. How funny it is. All you have to do is start eating cooked food. How interesting is that? I loved it. Kind of gave me a slow down and extra appreciation of more. Isn't that neat, man? I'm telling you, take care, my friend. Take care of my friend. Listen, good job. But you bring up a good question. You guys are we're getting this. Aren't we getting this down into some good areas? Absolutely. So you did good, Owen. That's exactly what I tell people. I get the most out. It's rare for me to ever have anything. But do I want it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because your body, when it's in the purging mood, watch out. Your body's going, man. I get out of the way, because the more I get out, the happier I am. I don't have the negative thing, oh, I feel so bad. No, I want a positive, oh, I feel so bad. Isn't this good? Yeah, I can really get this up. Absolutely. You don't turn the positive into a negative, or a negative into a positive. Absolutely. So, no, good job, man. Good question. Since the sun is acidic, shouldn't we be avoiding it during fasting and detoxing? I sun gaze quite a bit and wondered if I should still do it while detoxing. Thanks again. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, yeah, this is Leah. I think so. I don't think the sun will bother you when you're detoxifying, to tell you the truth. Although, I don't think too much time in the sun would be good if you're highly acidic, no question about it. Get that body alkaline and you'll be like the flower that follows the sun. Oh, I love those healing rays. Thank you. But in an acidic environment, it's hard to be that because you can feel that extra pain and stuff from it. So good question, though. Love these good questions. Thank you so much. This is Stage Bandit. Dr. Morris, will the chlorophyll from juicing the green part of the watermelon slow down detox? I don't know. That's a good question, man. I don't know how to answer that. I really don't. I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. I never juice watermelon, though. I just never have because talking about that, I bought 2 real nice ones this morning. It cost me $8 a piece, so I'm anxious to tear them apart. Let's see what they taste like. I haven't eaten today, and I had 1 banana this morning, and I'm anxious to tear into some. Hi, German man. I remember David Wolf saying that the body transmutes magnesium and silicon into calcium. It does silicon, but not magnesium. I'm guessing it's the liver that does that. It is. It is the liver, and that's biological transmutations. Matter of fact, I just came over that book here. I was getting some resource books, and that was such an old book, Biological Transmutations. And guess what? Still some of the biochemists boo-hoo that. Constipated biochemists. Yeah, absolutely. It's silica into calcium. That's why horsetail and comfrey all work so well together. Absolutely. But then, I don't know, the body can do so many incredible things. This is Organic Superman. Dr. Morris, if possible, we really need to see real cases of real people. Promise. Promise. Just got to get them to give me the okay to do that. Some people, they don't want privacy. Sometimes I can't even have another healer in here. Some people just want their privacy. I'm open to it completely. Any of you guys have an appointment coming up and you want us to film it, be happy to, like Indiana Banana. I'll film the whole thing. I don't care. I really like you guys to get a full grip of this. And if we can get some gnarly cases in here. I can't believe this. Yesterday, it was yesterday or the day before, he had a young man from Naples, 16 years old, has a big company himself, designed the controls for all the video games. Got to be a multimillionaire, 16 years old. Guy's got a brain like nobody's business. Hope he takes this on and cleans himself up. A bunch of us on the Facebook have discussion on the Heal All tea and how it makes our mouth and throat feel dry after drinking. Cause for that? Any ideas? Absolutely. Hey, Facebook. M. Carbone, you're making it too strong. You want to cut it way down. 1 teaspoon for 4 cups of water, better. The 1 teaspoon for 2 cups are for douching, mouth gargling, and mouth cancers, and colorectal cancers. 1 teaspoon for 4 cups be a lot better, or it's going to it's astringent. Feel the astringent on the mucosa? A lot of tannins and stuff. Cut way back on that. Don't make it too strong. There are people sucking it down strong. Don't need to suck it down too strong. And I think you guys will do well with that. Cut it back, okay? Way too strong. Oh, thank you. This is Rita Marie. Thank you, sweetheart. Welcome. So happy to have found your channel. I count my blessings. Well, thank you, dear one. I hope you're doing well. Enjoy the ride. Appreciate it. I'm going to have to cut off here, guys, but thank you so much for everything. This is fatigue here, depression, anxiety. I can't stop. All of you guys are so good. M. Carbone, so storing watermelon, just room temperature's okay. Yeah, I keep them on my floor, but I keep my house around. I run hot. I mean, I run hot. I can burn, if I touch people, I can burn them sometimes. So I run hot. So I keep my house about 74 degrees, and I keep my watermelon on my tile floor. So it keeps them cool. I have to cool myself down. I used to drink room temperature water. I have to cool myself down. So, yeah, I have been putting mine in fridge. Well, I do keep mine. I cut it in half. I eat one half one morning, the other half the next morning. I keep one half in the refrigerator because I like cold. I love cold. Cools me down. But it takes up so much room. I know. But I don't know how you could keep once you cut it, it starts oxidizing pretty good, so I don't know. I have done that, but I keep this, we have these non-bleached towels, so I keep them wet and keep it on it if I can't keep it in the refrigerator. Same problem you do. Same problem we all have. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much about this. This is R Malta 69. I've had fatigue, depression, anxiety as long as I can remember since early childhood. I just turned 21. 21 years old, and this lad has suffered so much. And I am just finishing the 8 formulas. I went on about a week and a half ago on all fruit. I'm also on 3 glandulars, adrenal 160, parathyroid, and pineal. I wasn't sure if taking 3 glandulars at once is too much, but I'm really sick and tired of feeling depressed, anxious, and inexpensive for all these years. My main focus nowadays is my spirituality. Work in progress. Let us know, my friend, how you doing. Thank you so much. Oh, this is Gabriel. I'm anxious to hear your thoughts on the cucumber. Do you think it is good detoxifying? I do like the cucumber. I love, you know, when I go to a salad bar, I load up on the cucumbers. We have a Jason's Deli down here with organics, and I'm just not a real lettuce person. I have a little spinach and stuff, but I love the red peppers, the cucumbers. The fruit veggies. Yeah. I am hoping to be able to detox yet eat high alkaline all the same time. I live in Colorado, and sometimes the fruit quality, yeah, I know. Try living in Florida, which should be, it's probably worse than you guys. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you so much, Gabriel. In relation to Archangel Gabriel, thank you, guys. Thank you for enduring these 2 hours. I appreciate it. I now have to take some time and write this up. I'm trying to get all your questions and everything, so forgive me if I just can't get to them, but really working hard to get that. I know there's a lot of videos to watch. Makes good stuff, though, because when you start realizing in each case what we're doing, it'll come home, and then you guys are home. So thank you so much. My love is always with every one of you guys. Controversy is controversy. I love you all. Let's just have a good, strong website here and hold hands and become all good friends and buddies. It's okay to disagree, too. But let's become good friends and buddies, and let's change this world here and kick it up another notch. This world doesn't know what another notch is, and it really needs it. So a lot of suffering people and children and everything else. Let's make a difference, guys. All right? I love you all. You have a fun weekend, and see you next week. Bye-bye.